with the Sharingan and trash. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 76, Battle with the Abyss Demon. Biggie River, a river hundreds of meters wide. After crossing this river, you can see the Thousand Cold City. After many twists and turns, Yuan An and Lin Mengxi finally arrived at the Biggie River, before being found by the Azure Dragon Demon General. The 100 Ghosts River is ahead. After crossing the 100 Ghosts River, you can see the Thousand Cold City. Looking at the rushing river in front of him, Lin Mengxi finally breathed a sigh of relief. After persisting for so long, he finally saw hope. It's not time to relax yet. The Azure Dragon Demon General is still chasing us. Yuan An didn't relax at all. All the wooden clones he had scattered had been killed by the Azure Dragon Demon General. And they were all killed an hour ago. Now that an hour has passed, no one can say whether the Azure Dragon Demon General has found their traces and caught up with them. Let's cross the river quickly. There is a stone bridge on the 100 Ghosts River that crosses the river. The two hurried to cross the river on the bridge. As soon as they crossed the 100 Ghosts River, Yuan An felt that the temperature around him dropped suddenly, and even snowflakes began to fall from the sky. It's so cold. Are they catching up? The sudden abnormal weather made Yuan An alert immediately. No, this is the original temperature of the far north, the Thousand Cold City. Do you think it's possible that it's not cold in the north of the continent? Lin Mengxi looked at Yuan An as if he was a fool. Yuan An, in the abyss, the temperature was normal, so he didn't feel anything. Now it has suddenly become so cold, he hasn't reacted yet. It should be this kind of weather when approaching the Thousand Cold City. Is that the Thousand Cold City? After crossing the 100 Ghosts River, Yuan An found that even his vision had widened a lot. Just 3 or 4 kilometers in front of them, they could vaguely see the huge city wall that once stretched endlessly. That was the Thousand Cold City, the dividing line between humans and the abyss. As long as they go there, they will be saved. Everyone understands this truth. But whether these last 4 kilometers can be successfully crossed is also a question. Hurry up. Lin Mengxi suddenly sensed something and ran forward quickly. But it was still too late. Boom. A figure quickly landed in front of them, with a burly figure and a spear in his hand. It was the Azure Dragon Demon General. I was caught up again. Yuan An's face changed slightly, and then he decisively grabbed Lin Mengxi in front of him, drew out his short knife, and put it against her snow-white neck, and said to the Azure Dragon Demon General, I didn't expect you to catch up with me. But, I still say that, let me go, or I will kill her. Along the way, he and Lin Mengxi had been through hardships together. But Yuan An did not forget that Lin Mengxi was just a hostage, and the best hostage, to deal with the Azure Dragon Demon General. Your fiancé is in my hands. How are you going to face it? I underestimated you at the beginning. Taboo superpowers, space superpowers, advanced clone superpowers, and perhaps other superpowers that I have never seen. People like you can never be allowed to go back. The Azure Dragon Demon General ignored Yuan An's words, but walked over step by step steadily, and slowly tightened the spear in his hand. Seeing him coming, Yuan An narrowed his eyes slightly. Do you want to attack your fiancé as well? Mengxi is just my personal matter, but killing you is a big deal for the entire abyss. Sacrificing small things for big things, this is not a difficult choice for me. After saying this, the Azure Dragon Demon General actually took action, and the long spear in his hand broke through the air. Judging from his attack, it was obvious that he wanted to pierce Lin Mengxi and Yuan An together. Seeing that he was so decisive, Yuan An cursed inwardly and had to quickly roll to the side with Lin Mengxi to avoid the attack, and then quickly threw Lin Mengxi away and prepared to fight. Yuan An could feel the fierce killing intent of the Azure Dragon Demon General in the previous shot. If he didn't dodge, he would definitely pierce Lin Mengxi and Yuan An together. Sure enough, those who can become demon generals will not succumb to such a simple woman. The hostage plan has failed, and Yuan An can only throw Lin Mengxi away and start fighting. Azure Dragon Demon General, one of the 4 great demon generals of the abyss, a 5th order, level 5 supernatural user. Yuan An, an ordinary human, a third order, level 2 supernatural user. In this comparison, Yuan An has no advantage at all. But the Thousand Cold City is right in front of him, and Yuan An has to fight. This is not only for survival, but also for the 100,000 energy points of the system task. Would release. Cutting technique. Yuan An quickly formed seals with both hands, and several trees rose from behind him, and then quickly shot out dozens of sharp wooden thorns, all of which were shot at the Azure Dragon Demon General. A gleam of light flashed in the latter's eyes, and then the long spear in his hand just waved casually, blocking all the wooden thorns. Facing this general, you can actually take the initiative to attack. You have surpassed many humans. Thank you for the compliment. So, in order to praise your courage, this general will also send you on your way. As soon as the voice fell, the Azure Dragon Demon General instantly turned into a residual image, leaving only a little cold light at the tip of the spear, and instantly forced in front of Yuan An. So fast. Even though Yuan An had already activated his main Jiki Sharingan and the second stage of Sage Mode, he was still shocked by the speed of the Blue Dragon Demon General's shot. Seeing that the tip of the gun was about to cut his throat, he finally took a step and dodged the shot without any danger. Oh. You can dodge this. Your reaction is quite fast. But, there is more. After dodging the shot, the Blue Dragon Demon General did not hesitate at all. He stepped on his foot again, and at the same time as he took a step forward, he had already pulled back the spear that had been thrust out, drawing an amazing arc in the air, and fiercely slammed it towards Yuan An. So fast. The power of the main Jiki Sharingan can help him capture the Blue Dragon Demon General's movements. But Yuan An's body can't keep up with the reaction of the Sharingan. The Sharingan saw it clearly, but his body couldn't dodge it, so he could only forcibly draw out the short sword to block it in front of him. Bang! Crack! Yuan An was hit by the Blue Dragon Demon General's gun, and the short sword shattered instantly, and the remaining power directly bounced him out. Ahem. The surging blood and the intense pain in his body made Yuan An unable to help but spit out a large mouthful of blood. The power of the Azure Dragon Demon General was too strong. But he was not someone who would sit still and wait for death. While being knocked away for a distance, Yuan An endured the severe pain and clasped his hands together. Would release. Tree World Birth. Boom. Countless trees broke out of the ground with surging vitality and instantly turned into a sea of forests. Countless vines and trees rushed towards the Azure Dragon Demon General. This level of wood-related supernatural power. As expected, you still have a lot of tricks, so you can't leave. The Azure Dragon Demon General looked cold and fierce. Facing the crazy trees, he suddenly stabbed the spear in his hand. Abyss gunfire. Whoosh. A purple flame burst out from the tip of the spear, instantly burning the sea of forests into a sea of fire. Chapter 77. Susanoo. Whoosh. On the tip of the spear, purple flames were like wandering dragons and snakes, instantly separating the entire forest sea and turning into burning walls of fire. The remaining flames turned into several flames, shooting directly towards Yuan An and instantly burning Yuan An. Crack. The burning Yuan An turned into a piece of wood. You actually used a clone right under my nose. The Azure Dragon Demon General's eyes narrowed slightly. Using a clone is not a problem. The problem is that he didn't even notice how Yuan An used it. Did you create a clone when you used the wood power? In the face of such a huge gap in strength, you can still keep a cool head. You are really a good human. But the Azure Dragon Demon General turned back suddenly, and the spear in his hand shot out decisively, falling to the ground, cutting off the way for Yuan An, who was about to bypass it. This place is only a few thousand meters away from the Thousand Cold capital, so, no matter what method you use, you can't escape my perception. I was still discovered. It's really unrealistic to sneak away. Yuan An cursed in his heart. If you want to go back, then defeat me. The Azure Dragon Demon General clasped his hands together, and purple flames burst out around him, quickly condensing into a tall battle armor attached to him, turning the Azure Dragon Demon General into a war god more than 10 meters tall at this moment. The Azure Dragon Demon General pressed his hands in the air, and a huge energy palm print appeared above Yuan An's head, falling like a mountain. What a strong force. Boom. As his palm fell, a huge deep pit was instantly slapped out on the ground, and countless dust mixed with the cold air quickly spread and flew. The Azure Dragon Demon General believed that this blow would definitely smash Yuan An into a pulp, and a sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth. However, as the smoke and dust dissipated, a fiery red energy giant stood in the deep pit, with a strong breath like a standing mountain, strong and unyielding. Susanoo. The third power that resides in the main Gekyo Sharingan. This is. The Azure Dragon Demon General narrowed his eyes slightly, and the powerful aura of Susanoo made him feel faintly frightened. Obviously, Yuan An's current strength is still not as good as his, but he felt a trace of inexplicable fear from Yuan and Susanoo. It's a close call. If I hadn't opened Susanoo in time, the previous attack would have been a disaster. Yuan An was still in shock. However, since he couldn't run away, he would give it a try. You still have such a powerful force. How many secrets do you have? After I beat you into a cripple, I will find out bit by bit. Although he had a flash of fear in his heart about the appearance of Susanoo, but in the face of absolute strength, the Azure Dragon Demon General quickly suppressed this uneasiness. He is now wearing a huge set of energy armor around his body, and his size is about the same as Yuan and Susanoo. But his strength is definitely stronger than Yuan An. Let me see if your energy armor can block my attack. After saying that, the Azure Dragon Demon General attacked again. The huge energy armor rushed to Yuan An. He just clenched his fist and attacked. Even the air made a sound of explosion. This punch contained the full strength of the Azure Dragon Demon General. He wanted to smash Yuan and Susanoo into slag with one punch. But Susanoo did not take the beating in vain. Instead, it quickly condensed a round shield in front of it, the 8-foot mirror. The Azure Dragon Demon General's punch hit the 8-foot mirror directly. Boom. The huge sound broke through the sky, and the powerful energy wave set off a horror in the surroundings. But what the Azure Dragon Demon General did not expect was that Yuan and Susanoo blocked his punch. In fact, nothing happened. All the attacks were resolved by the 8-foot mirror. And it's not over yet. Bang. An invisible force suddenly bounced back from the 8-foot mirror, and the same force exploded on the arm of the Azure Dragon Demon General, and even blew off his huge energy armor. This armor was connected to the Azure Dragon Demon General. The arm of the armor was blown off, and the Azure Dragon Demon General's left arm was also twisted off. The severe pain made the Azure Dragon Demon General's face change drastically, but he didn't say a word. He covered the wound of his broken arm and stepped back repeatedly, but his eyes were fixed on the 8-foot mirror in Susanoo's hand. This shield can actually bounce back my attack. Of course, he could clearly feel that it was not Yuan An's attack that broke his arm, but the power contained in his punch just now, which was all bounced back by Susanoo's 8-foot mirror. The Azure Dragon Demon General had an arm broken. In this situation, not to mention Yuan An, even Lin Mengxi, who had been watching the battle on the side, was shocked and opened her mouth. Being caught up by the Azure Dragon Demon General, she originally thought that Yuan An would definitely not be his opponent. Even if he was not caught, he would have to pay a heavy price to escape. But she never expected that it was the Azure Dragon Demon General who was first broken an arm by Yuan An. It's not over yet. Amaterasu. Taking advantage of the Azure Dragon Demon General's injury, Yuan An's right eye suddenly focused, and the spiritual energy in his body quickly dissipated. Boom. The dark flame instantly burned on the Azure Dragon Demon General's huge energy armor. This is a flame that will never go out until the target is burned out. The Azure Dragon Demon General immediately noticed the unusualness of Amaterasu's flame, and could feel that the strong flame was quickly melting his energy armor. Would release. Tree World Birth. Would release. Wood Dragon Technique. Susanoo. Yosakani no Magatama. Yuan An released several killing moves in a row, and a large area of trees wrapped around the Azure Dragon Demon General's huge energy armor body. The ferocious wooden dragon bit his neck, and wrapped around him tightly. Finally, Susanoo threw out a string of fiery red energy Magatama, which exploded on the body of Azure Dragon Demon General. Boom. This series of attacks was so powerful that it submerged the huge body of Azure Dragon Demon General. This should be enough, right? Yuan An took a deep breath, but he didn't dare to relax at all. Do you think this will kill me? A calm and steady voice came from the sea of trees. The next moment, a figure rushed out of the chaotic explosion at a high speed and came to Yuan An in an instant. Azure Dragon Demon General had no weapons in his hands, but he used one finger to point at Susanoo at a very fast speed. Crack. Several huge cracks appeared under his fingertips. The next moment, the huge Susanoo exploded directly from the inside and fell apart. The remaining power exploded on Yuan An's chest, instantly knocking him dozens of meters away. Puff. Yuan An's face changed, and he spit out a large mouthful of blood. Your strength is great, but it's not enough to kill me. Chapter 78, Yuan City, Yuan Creek. Your speed, your strength, and your abilities are all very good. But unfortunately, they are not enough to kill me. Yuan An's combo just now did not cause much damage to the Azure Dragon Demon General, and did not even leave a wound on him, except for his left arm that was broken by the rebound of the 8-foot mirror. Yuan An was in a bad situation. The Azure Dragon Demon General's attack not only blasted his Susanoo directly, but also broke several of his ribs. He spurted out a large mouthful of blood and flew backwards. I can give you a chance. Submit to the abyss, and you can survive. How about it? The Azure Dragon Demon General walked towards Yuan An step by step. It sounds good. Yuan An stood up with great pain from the broken ribs. If there were no system tasks, in order to save his life, he might really agree to the Azure Dragon Demon General first, and then find a chance to run away. But now, the system has given too much. But I see that you don't seem to want to agree. The Azure Dragon Demon General stretched out his hand in the air, and the spear flew back into his hand. At this time, the Azure Dragon Demon General was less than 200 meters away from Yuan An, and Yuan An was still about 2 kilometers away from the Thousand Cold City. This was an insurmountable gap. Not to mention that Yuan An was seriously injured now. You were able to knock off one of my arms. This record is enough to be recorded in the annals of your life. This will be the most glorious stroke in your life, and of course, it will also be the last stroke. To show respect, I will go all out to send you to hell. After saying this, the Azure Dragon Demon General raised his spear with one hand and was about to take action. Yuan An also immediately formed a seal with one hand. At this moment, wisps of light cold air suddenly gathered quickly from all directions. Crack. A layer of frost suddenly formed on the tip of the spear. The Azure Dragon Demon General's expression changed slightly, and his body quickly retreated more than 10 steps. A dignified Azure Dragon Demon General actually came to my Thousand Cold City alone. Don't you think we are not important? A cold female voice sounded. As the cold air gathered quickly, it condensed into a woman wearing a white cotton cloak, and appeared in front of Yuan An. The Azure Dragon Demon General narrowed his eyes slightly. Lord Yuan Hanxi, you came quite quickly. I thought you would be sensible and solve it quickly and leave, but it seems that even a strong Azure Dragon Demon General can capsize in the gutter. Yuan Hanxi saw the broken arm of the Azure Dragon Demon General, and was slightly surprised. Then she turned back, to look at Yuan An with a deep gaze. She knew the strength of the Azure Dragon Demon General very well. Even if it was her, she could only be on par with the Azure Dragon Demon General at most. It was almost impossible to break one of his arms. But Yuan An, a 3rd level 2nd level, was able to break one of the Azure Dragon Demon General's arms. This was unheard of. When Yuan Hanxi looked at Yuan An also saw her appearance clearly. She was very beautiful, with bright eyes and white teeth, and perfect facial features, but there was a frosty expression on her cheeks, just like the snow lotus on the Sharingan Mountains. Beautiful, but cold. Yuan An estimated that Yuan Hanxi should be about 25 or 26 years old, much older than him. Judging from the reaction of the Azure Dragon Demon General, Yuan Hanxi should be the guardian of Yuan City, and they are both at level 5 of the 5th order. Being able to become the guardian of Yuan City at this age is enough to show how strong she is. The most important thing is that Yuan Hanxi is here, which means Yuan An is saved. If you come a few seconds later, I can kill him, and then go back after the job, and you don't have to come out. The Azure Dragon Demon General held a spear in one hand, with a calm expression. Are you saying that I will watch you kill my kind? Yuan Hanxi said coldly, and the cold air around him condensed, with several sharp ice spikes condensed around him, ready to go. If you don't leave, I don't mind taking this opportunity to make Erebus lose a Demon General. Facing Yuan Hanxi's threat, the Azure Dragon Demon General narrowed his eyes slightly, and after weighing for a moment, he chose to avoid the edge temporarily. He now has a broken arm, and he can't gain any advantage in a fight with Yuan Hanxi. Boy, you're lucky. Don't let me catch you next time. The Azure Dragon Demon General gave Yuan An a cold look and then prepared to take Lin Mengzi back. But suddenly he found that Lin Mengzi was gone. To be precise, Lin Mengzi had sneaked behind Yuan An and hid. "Mengzi, why are you still hiding there? Let's go back. You just even wanted to kill me. Do you think I will go back with you?" Lin Mengzi's eyes were filled with deep resentment. If she had only simply disliked the Azure Dragon Demon General before, she was now completely resentful. Just now, the Azure Dragon Demon General obviously wanted to kill her and Yuan An together. That moment was the closest Lin Mengzi had ever been to death. She couldn't stay with someone who wanted to kill her. At that time, the Azure Dragon Demon General wanted to explain, but Yuan Hanxi interrupted him. "Azure Dragon Demon General, you've stayed long enough." There were more and more cold ice thorns around Yuan Hanxi. The Azure Dragon Demon General's expression changed rapidly, but in the end he could only snort coldly, turn around and fly back to the abyss. Yuan Hanxi never took action, not because she didn't want to, but because she knew that, even if the Azure Dragon Demon General had a broken arm, she couldn't take him down. If they really fought, it was still unclear who would win or lose. Seeing this, Yuan An and Lin Mengzi both breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, safe. "You two, follow me." Yuan Hanxi turned around and walked towards the Yuan capital. Yuan An and Lin Mengzi hurriedly followed. Ding. Completed the mission. Escape from the abyss. Get reward. 100,000 energy points. The sound of the system made Yuan An's heart suddenly happy, and he couldn't even feel the pain. 100,000 energy points finally arrived. It was worth it that he had been fighting wits and courage with the Azure Dragon Demon General these days, and he was almost killed in the end. These 100,000 energy points were all exchanged for his life. After entering the Yuan city, Yuan An felt more clearly that this wall standing between the abyss and humans was so tall. "What are your names?" Yuan Hanxi in front suddenly asked. "Yuan An." "Lin Mengzi." The two answered truthfully. Yuan Hanxi nodded. The three finally came to the tall city gate under the city wall. "City Lord." The city gate opened, and dozens of guards were ready, facing an opponent at the level of the Abyss Demon General. Yuan Hanxi certainly couldn't act alone. If he really fought with the Azure Dragon Demon General, the guards here would support him at the first time. This is also the main reason why the Azure Dragon Demon General didn't want to fight Yuan Hanxi. Behind Yuan Hanxi is the entire Yuan city. The Azure Dragon Demon General is not stupid, and it is impossible for him to challenge the entire Yuan city alone. As the three entered the city and the gate behind them closed, Yuan Hanxi suddenly said, "Take them both down." Chapter 79, The Power of the Manjaki Sharingan. Take them down. Yuan Hanxi suddenly gave the order as soon as the city gate closed. Before Yuan An and Lin Mengzi could react, the guards on both sides had already captured them. "City Lord Yuan, what does this mean?" Yuan An asked hurriedly. "You two came out of the abyss. Although you don't have the breath of the abyss, it doesn't rule out that you are not undercover agents of the abyss. So, I hope you can cooperate well. If your identities are confirmed to be okay, I will naturally let you go." Yuan Hanxi said, waving his hand, and the guards took both of them away. As the city lord of Yuan City, Yuan Hanxi is not so stupid as to easily believe Yuan An and Lin Mengzi. People who come out of the abyss, whether they are undercover agents or have really escaped from it, need to be interrogated carefully. Otherwise, because of her negligence, it is very likely that Yuan City will face an unprecedented disaster. As the city lord, she must be careful and cautious. Yuan prison. Dang. The iron door was locked, and Yuan An and Lin Mengzi were locked in cells facing each other. Yuan An, why does it always feel so wrong? He finally escaped from the prison in the abyss, but was locked in another prison. What is this? Exclamation mark. It's all your fault. You got me locked up here too. Lin Mengzi on the opposite side suddenly shouted at Yuan An in an accusing manner. What does it have to do with me? Didn't you want to come in? Just now, the Azure Dragon Demon General asked you to go back, but you didn't go back. He was about to kill me. Why should I go back with him? Lin Mengzi was angry. Then come with me. You deserve to be locked up. You. She was even more angry, and Yuan An didn't bother to pay attention to her. Although he was locked up, at least this is a human city, and it doesn't matter if he is locked up for a while. He can take this time to have a good rest. By the way, he can't wait to use the 100,000 energy points that just arrived in his account. System, open the store interface. I want to exchange for a double Camu Manjaki Sharingan. He had already selected his target. Although the Camu Manjaki Sharingan cannot be used infinitely because it does not have Hashirama cells. But the system can help him integrate all the abilities of the Manjaki Sharingan into the eternal Manjaki Sharingan. Therefore, as long as he saves enough energy points and integrates the eternal Manjaki Sharingan, he can still use it infinitely. Ding. Deduct 100,000 energy points and obtain Manjaki Sharingan Camu MT, Manjaki Sharingan Camu Distortion. Note, the upper limit of the use of all Manjaki Sharingan's pupil techniques is 5 times. Please be careful not to overuse. 100,000 energy points, all emptied in one breath. Looking at the balance that suddenly dropped, Yuan An felt a pain in his heart. There are still 8,000 energy points, just right. By the way, exchange for a wood releases unprinted healing. Ding. Deduct 8,000 energy points and obtain unprinted healing. Healing without seals, no seals are needed. As long as the energy is sufficient, no matter how severe the injury is, it can be healed automatically. Note, heart destruction, beheading and other fatal injuries that can be killed with one blow cannot be treated with healing without seals, so please cherish your life. Healing without seals is known as the strongest healing technique. Of course, Yuan An's healing without seals is not as exaggerated as that of Senju Hashirama, but ordinary injuries can still be easily dealt with. It was finally completed without any danger. Although it has been a long and tortuous journey, Yuan An is still very satisfied with the result now. It is worth it for him to run so far in the abyss. Although he is now locked up, he is safe at least. After the two were locked up for a day, Kyan Hanxi finally came to interrogate them in person on the second day. The first person to be interrogated was Lin Mengxi. Kyan Hanxi took her to another room and interrogated her for a full half an hour. As for whether she was tortured, I don't know. When Lin Mengxi came out, it didn't seem that she had been tortured, but her mentality seemed to be affected, and there was no light in her eyes. Then it was Yuan An's turn. Entering the interrogation room, it was just an empty little room with only a table separating the interrogator and the interrogated. Sit down. Yuan An sat down, and across from him was Kyan Hanxi. Kyan Hanxi wore a black coat today, with a pure white turtleneck sweater underneath. The black and white was particularly obvious. On her beautiful face, there was still a bit of iceberg indifference. She was a real iceberg beauty. Name: Yuan An. Age: 18. Where are you from? Shengsha Empire, White Dragon City. After simply asking and answering a few questions, Kyan Hanxi got straight to the point. Why did you appear in the abyss? I said I was captured by them while on a mission. Do you believe it? Yuan An looked sincere. He knew that he came out of the abyss, and it was hard not to doubt this origin. But this is the fact. He hoped that Kyan Hanxi would believe him. I believe it. The short answer made Yuan An stunned for a moment. Kyan Hanxi continued to ask, tell me in detail what you saw, what you discovered, and how you escaped from the abyss. She just sat there quietly, looking at Yuan An, and did nothing else. No interrogation methods were used. It seemed that she could judge whether the other person's words were true or false just by the other person's expression when speaking. Although he was a little confused about Kyan Hanxi's interrogation attitude, Yuan An still told him everything he saw, discovered, and escaped in the abyss. This is not something that cannot be said. There is nothing to hide. Kyan Hanxi just kept looking at Yuan An, listening quietly, without interrupting, until Yuan An finished speaking. This is the whole story. Kyan Hanxi nodded. I understand. It seems that what you said is true. You can leave. Ah. You can leave now? Yuan An really couldn't figure it out. Just a few simple questions, without asking anything. Kyan Hanxi believed him. This is too hasty, right? I say you can leave. You can leave. Don't stay. Kyan Hanxi said. Okay. Although he was puzzled, since he could leave, there was really no need to stay any longer. But after coming out of the interrogation room, Yuan An saw that Lin Mengxi was locked up again, and couldn't help asking, she can't leave yet. Her identity is quite special, so she can't leave for the time being. You go first. Kyan Hanxi said. Lin Mengzi also looked up at Yuan An, but didn't say anything. Oh. Although he was a little confused, Yuan An didn't care too much and left directly. He didn't care whether Lin Mengzi could leave or not. Chapter 80, Cooperation with Yuan Hangxi. Yuan City, a city built in the extreme north of the continent. Originally, in such a harsh place, no one should be willing to live in such a place. But opposite Yuan City is the greatest enemy of mankind, the Abyss. In order to resist the Abyss, there is this Yuan City, and so many people are willing to live here to monitor the Abyss. This is not an ordinary city, but an unbreakable wall to protect mankind and resist the Abyss. Walking on the street, the cold wind from the surroundings made Yuan An's feet tremble. Even if he had a righteous spirit, he couldn't resist this 100% defense-breaking cold. Fortunately, there was a clothing store next to him. Yuan An hurried in and bought a set of clothes to wear, and then he came back to life. This place is so cold. Since everything is fine, let's go back early. Yuan An was just going to perform an ordinary mission. Who would have thought that he would encounter such a thing? Not only were his teammates wiped out, but he himself was almost left in the Abyss and couldn't get out. This mission is really terrifying. Moreover, he didn't want to stay in the Abyss for a moment. But it would be difficult to return to Beilang City. Yuan City was nearly 3,000 kilometers away from Shengjing College. Yuan City did not belong to the Shengsha Empire, so there was no way to use a specific space teleportation symbol to teleport him back. To return to the Shengsha Empire, it was nearly 2,000 kilometers. He had no way to shorten these 2,000 kilometers, so he could only travel bit by bit. Even if he took a flying car, he would not be able to return in less than a month. This did not include various situations such as getting lost, being attacked by monsters, natural disasters and man-made disasters. If all kinds of situations were counted, it would probably take 2 or 3 months to return. Damn, it's all the fault of that Azure Dragon Demon General, who actually threw me so far away. Yuan An became more and more angry as he thought about it. He was so angry that he was hungry. Forget it, let's eat something first. During the days of fleeing in the Abyss, he hadn't had a good meal. Soon, Yuan An found a restaurant and went in to order a few dishes. Just after sitting down, before he could even pick up food with his chopsticks, a person sat down opposite him. Yuan Hangxi. Ahem. Yuan An was so scared that his chopsticks almost flew out. I said, Lord Yuan, I have explained everything I should have explained. You were the one who let me go. You can't come back like this. I'm not here to catch you. Just keep eating. Yuan Hangxi said. Aren't you here to catch me? If I wanted to catch you, I wouldn't have let you go before. Yuan Hangxi sat very calmly. In addition to the coldness on her pretty face, she was actually quite pretty. Hearing her words, Yuan An hesitated for only a few seconds, and then ate with peace of mind, asking while eating, then I wonder what Lord Yuan wants to talk to me about. As long as he is not here to catch him, everything is fine. I came to you mainly to ask you, do you want to make a deal with me? Yuan Hangxi said. Deal? What deal? We recently discovered a nest of abyss monsters, and we need someone to destroy them. Yuan Hangxi said. The lair of the abyss monster. Lord Yuan thinks highly of me? I'm just a third order, level 2 superpower user. Yuan An narrowed his eyes and said. The lair of monster is not a good place. Not to mention the lair of an abyss monster. You may not be able to get out once you enter it. You were able to escape from the hands of the Azure Dragon Demon General and even broke one of his arms. If you say it's just luck, then your luck is too good. Although Yuan Hangxi no longer doubted Yuan An's identity, he was still very curious about how he was able to run out of the abyss, escape from the hands of a demon general, and successfully break one of the Azure Dragon Demon General's arms. If it was all good luck, then this luck is good enough to win a big prize. I know your strength is definitely more than just the surface, so I came to you to make a deal. Her words reminded Yuan An. Then as the other party to the deal, what reward can you offer me? For a deal, what really determines whether it can be completed is not the difficulty of the deal itself, but what the two parties to the deal give. As long as the other party offers enough reward, then this deal can be completed, no matter how difficult it is. Yuan Hangxi's icy face showed a smile for the first time, and said, I know you want to go home. I have a space teleportation talisman that can teleport you directly back to the Shengsha Empire. I wonder if this reward can make you excited. Yuan An narrowed his eyes slightly, and after thinking for a few seconds, he agreed. Okay, I promise you. He was indeed excited. If he had to rush back to the Shengsha Empire from Qiandan capital, honestly, it would be unknown when he could return after thousands of kilometers. But if there was a space teleportation talisman, it would be completely different. So, when Qian Hanxi threw out this reward, he couldn't help it. But how can I be sure that you will give me the space teleportation talisman after completing the transaction? What if you lie to me? After calming down, Yuan An raised a new question. After all, he and Qian Hanxi had just met, and if there was no guarantee, this kind of trust could not be established. Of course. Here is half of the space teleportation talisman. After you complete the task, I will give you the remaining half of the space teleportation talisman. Qian Hanxi took out a half palm-sized yellow talisman paper, on which was engraved the rune containing the power of space. There is only half here. If you want to exert the real power of space, you must have a complete teleportation talisman. After taking the half of the space teleportation talisman, Yuan An weighed it carefully and said, okay, I agree. In order to go home early, Yuan An agreed to Qian Hanxi's request. Isn't it just a nest of abyss monsters? He has even dealt with the Azure Dragon Demon General, so why should he be afraid of a few abyss monsters? Very good. Then tomorrow morning, you come to the city gate and set off. Okay. Ding. Trigger task. Complete the transaction with Qian Hanxi and get the space teleportation talisman. Task reward. 50,000 energy points. Another task with rich rewards. Excited, Yuan An became cautious. All experience shows that the richer the rewards of the system task, the greater the difficulty of the task. 50,000 energy points was enough to show how difficult this task was. Of course, compared to the task of escaping from the abyss, this task was much easier. He could escape from the abyss, so everything else was nothing. Very good. Finish the task early tomorrow and go home early. Chapter 81. How big are your breasts? At night, Yuan An randomly found a hotel to stay in. Fortunately, he was also a rich second generation, and he usually had a lot of money on him. He didn't have to worry about food, clothing, and housing outside. It's good to be rich. After sighing inwardly, Yuan An entered the room and took a comfortable hot bath first. During the days of fleeing in the abyss, he hadn't taken a bath for several days, and he was so uncomfortable. Comfortable. After taking a bath, he suddenly felt that the whole person was completely different. Knock knock knock. At this time, there was a knock on the door outside, but no one spoke. Who is it? I. Open the door. A woman's voice sounded outside. At first glance, it seemed a little familiar. Yuan An hurried to open the door, and it turned out that it was Lin Mengxi standing outside the door. Wasn't she still locked up by Qian Hanxi? It seemed that she was released. Miss, I don't think I called for door-to-door service. Did you go to the wrong place? Yuan An joked. Lin Mengxi rolled her eyes and said fiercely, let me in. She looked fierce, like a kitten with its fur standing on end. Yuan An was frightened by her fierceness and obediently stepped aside. Why did you get out? Did Qian Hanxi let you out? Or did you escape? Yuan An suddenly became alert. If Lin Mengxi had escaped, he wouldn't mind catching her back in person to gain Qian Hanxi's trust, and maybe he could get the remaining half of the space teleportation talisman. Seeing Yuan An's alert eyes, Lin Mengxi rolled her eyes at him and said, do you think I'm like you? I was also released after being cleared of suspicion. Okay. What do you mean by like me? I also left openly. Okay. Yuan An looked disgusted. I don't want to talk to you. I'm going to take a shower. You're not allowed to peek. After leaving a warning, Lin Mengxi entered the bathroom. Who wants to peek at you? You're weird. Yuan An was a little regretful now. Why did he let this guy in? Now that he has escaped from the abyss, there is no need to take Lin Mengxi as a hostage. And although Lin Mengxi has also come out, she is still related to the abyss and the Azure Dragon Demon General, and there is no benefit in staying with her. It is better to drive her away as soon as possible. Yuan An has already thought of the next words. Lin Mengxi bathed in it for a full half an hour before slowly coming out, wearing a white cotton bathrobe. Her cheeks were flushed due to the heat, and even the exposed shoulders and the well-proportioned calves were beautiful and rosy. This look was so tempting that Yuan An was stunned. But he soon reacted, sat up suddenly, and looked alert. "Why are you dressed like this? Are you trying to seduce me? I tell you, I'm a man of integrity and I will not fall for your honey trap. What are you thinking? Who wants to seduce you?" Lin Mengzi glared at him fiercely. "I have no clothes to wear. Go downstairs and buy me a set of clothes." "What does it have to do with me that you have no clothes to wear? It's good enough that I'll lend you a place to take a shower. Who told you not to buy clothes in advance?" Yuan An would not indulge her. He was not her boyfriend or anything, not even a friend, so he had no obligation to help her. "You." Lin Mengzi was so angry that she wanted to scold, but didn't dare to. Finally, her tone softened and she whispered, "I was just released. I'm all alone, and you are the only person I know." Hey, don't say such things to me here. We are not that familiar with each other." Yuan An interrupted her quickly. "Just do me a favor, please." Lin Mengzi raised her pretty face and looked at Yuan An pitifully. Although he knew that she was pretending, Yuan An was too kind to see a girl with such an expression. Okay, put away your expression quickly. Can't I go downstairs to buy it for you?" He always felt that he should be more hard-hearted, and it might be better. "Let me see what size clothes you wear." Yuan An looked Lin Mengzi up and down and asked the last question. "Also, how big are your breasts?" Lin Mengzi, you are a hooligan. Yuan An was speechless. "What hooligan? I asked you how big your breasts are. Do I want to know what size underwear you wear? Or are you used to not wearing it?" "You." Lin Mengzi always felt that Yuan An was being a hooligan, but his words seemed to make some sense. "If I'm not mistaken, it should be A, right?" Yuan An said with a smirk. "You are right for A. Your whole family is right for A." Lin Mengzi was so angry that her teeth itched. "By me B. Really? Don't force yourself. There's no need to act big." Yuan An looked serious. Lin Mengzi was ashamed and angry and raised her hand to hit Yuan An. Fortunately, Yuan An was quick and left the house first. This stinky hooligan. The girl was so angry that her teeth itched. Half an hour later, Yuan An came back. He also brought 2 bags of clothes and threw them on the bed. "Here, a total of 10 gold coins. No credit." Humph. Lin Mengzi threw down the gold coins, took the clothes, and went into the bathroom to change. Yuan An lay back on the bed to warm up. Lin Mengzi had been lying in the quilt just now, and there was still the residual warmth of her body, and a faint and elegant floral scent, which was quite nice. Soon, Lin Mengzi had changed her clothes and came out. Yuan An took a look at her, and glanced at her chest. Lin Mengzi suddenly thought of something, and anger suddenly rose on her pretty face. "I've already told you, I'm not A. I haven't said anything yet." Yuan An spread his hands. "You have taken a shower and changed your clothes. It's time to go, right?" "I'm going to sleep." "Not yet." "What? You don't want to sleep with me?" "I warn you, although I'm a little handsome, it is normal for you to like me. But girls should respect themselves, and a forced melon is not sweet." Seeing him look serious, but saying frivolous words, sometimes Lin Mengzi really wants to pry open his head to see what kind of garbage is in his head. When he was in the abyss, Yuan An gave her the feeling that he was quite reliable and calm in times of crisis. Why did he become like this when he came back here? Did his brain get frozen? Disgusting. Who would like you? Even if you strip naked in front of me, I don't care. Lin Mengzi said with disgust, impatiently. "Have you forgotten that the seal you left on me is still there? It's okay for me to leave, but you helped me to remove the seal. If it weren't for the seal of Yuan An on her body, she wouldn't have come to find him." "Oh, I forgot about that. Now that you're out, I can really help you remove the seal. Take off your clothes." If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 82. Start the mission. Take off your clothes. Yuan An said casually. Lin Mengzi's eyes widened instantly, her hands tightly clasped in front of her chest. She looked at him vigilantly and asked, "What do you want to do?" It was the first time she encountered someone who was so blatantly plotting against her. Too arrogant. Can't you pretend? Yuan An looked at her like an idiot. Didn't you say that you wanted me to help you remove the seal? How can you let me help you with such thick clothes? If you want to remove the seal, lift up your clothes and expose your belly. He looked impatient. It seemed as if he really wanted to take advantage of her. He didn't even look down on a pair of B.U. Lin Mengzi was so angry that her teeth itched. This guy really deserves a beating. After the seal is removed, beat him up first. After convincing herself in her heart, Lin Mengzi began to slowly take off her thick coat. Then it was the close-fitting sweater, and finally only a thin underwear was left. You don't need to take this off, just lift it up. Yuan An reminded him in a friendly way to avoid being labeled a pervert. Hearing this, Lin Mengzi heaved a sigh of relief, and then began to lift up her underwear little by little, and her pretty face gradually became red. Although she didn't say anything on the surface, she was actually very shy. This was the first time she lifted up her clothes in front of a man. Under the clothes was a flat belly without a trace of fat, and on her fair skin, there were cross-shaped black fire marks. It was Yuan An's fire escape, heavenly prison sealing technique. Yuan An looked up slightly and could see a corner of Lin Mengzi's white underwear. This was bought by Yuan An for her. What are you looking at? Lin Mengzi also noticed Yuan An's gaze and was immediately embarrassed and angry. If you dare to look at me, I will blow up your head. Yuan An, what's so good about a pair of bees? I'm not interested in watching them, even if you ask me to. You get ready. I'm going to help you unlock the seal. Lin Mengzi wanted to curse a few more words when Yuan An interrupted her casting. He held his breath and concentrated, quickly formed a seal, and then pressed his palm on Lin Mengzi's stomach. Heavenly prison unlock. The hot air wave quickly retreated from Lin Mengzi's body, and the marks on her body disappeared bit by bit. Lin Mengzi could clearly feel that the restraints on her body were untied, and the spiritual power in her body began to flow again. So, you hooligan, die. She acted decisively, and the power of the wind lingered on her palm, and she slapped Yuan An fiercely. This palm contained her frustration and anger in the past few days, and she wanted to return it all to Yuan An. So you are a dual-powered user of the spiritual pupil and wind systems. Yuan An was slightly surprised, then raised his hand quickly to deal with Lin Mengzi. A minute later, Lin Mengzi was pressed down on the bed by Yuan An, with her hands captured, unable to resist. Little guy, have you admitted defeat? He was a man who could escape from the hands of the Azure Dragon Demon General, and Lin Mengzi was just a third order, level 1 power user, and he still wanted to deal with her? You, let me go. Lin Mengzi's resistance was futile, and she could only struggle. You were the first to start. It seems that it is my fault for helping you to unlock the seal, and I have to give you another powerful seal. As he said that, Yuan An raised his hand and pretended to hit him. Lin Mengzi was startled and hurriedly took advantage of Yuan An's slackness to struggle away from him, ran to the door, and looked at him with a face full of dissatisfaction. Humph, you can only bully me now. That's enough. If you don't leave, I will really seal you, believe it or not. Yuan An threatened. You. Humph, I'm not as skilled as you this time. Next time we meet, I'll make you pay. After leaving a threatening remark, Lin Mengzi finally opened the door and left. A wise man never suffers a loss in front of him. She really couldn't deal with Yuan An now, so she could only think of a way later. This guy is so shameless. Yuan An tidied up the messy bed and lay down. He also promised Kan Hangxi that he would help her carry out the mission tomorrow, so he had to rest early. The bed where he had played with Lin Mengzi was still filled with the faint floral scent of Lin Mengzi, which smelled quite comfortable and accompanied Yuan An into sleep. The next day, under the city gate, when Yuan An arrived, Kan Hangxi was already waiting here. Also waiting with him were the masked executors of Kai'an City, each of whom was quite powerful. You are quite arrogant, Kan Hangxi said. Yuan An shrugged. You didn't tell me what time it was. I came here as soon as I woke up. Okay, no more nonsense. Now I will briefly tell you about the mission. In the monster forest outside the East City Gate, the breath of the abyss has been heard recently. A nest of monsters has been eroded by the abyss. It is estimated that there will be 4th level abyss monsters. You need to solve it as soon as possible, and don't let the abyss spread. For this mission, the captain will be Yuan. Yuan is an executor with a black cloud painted on his mask, which is very vivid. Another person will join. His name is Yuan An, and he will act with you. Hello. Yuan An smiled and greeted. The other executors nodded, indicating that they understood. If there is no problem, then let's go. Yes. The East City Gate is not here. Yuan An set off with Yuan and others, including Yuan An. There are 5 people and 2 flying cars. Are you going to join our execution department, little brother? On the way, Yuan took the initiative to chat with Yuan An. What do you mean? According to past practice, those who can be personally arranged by the city lord to perform tasks with our executors are basically intended to be trained as executors. But there are still very few novices like you who directly participate in the Abyss Monster mission. Yuan said. Maybe the city lord trusts me more. Yuan shrugged without much explanation. As long as he completes this task, he can complete the system's task, and then he can get the other half of the space transmission symbol and go home. Haha, it's good to be confident, but you have to be careful. The Abyss monster is not like ordinary monsters. It's much more ferocious and very dangerous. Yuan reminded. At this time, an executor with a yellow cloud sitting in the back also said, but don't worry, we will protect you. Just don't worry. Huang Yun is a girl with a nice voice. Judging from her tone, she is a lively one. Thank you. Yuan smiled. These people are much friendlier than he thought. Maybe it's because they stayed in Kyanlan City to keep each other warm, so they cherish every companion. Everyone who stayed here had no intrigues, only a common hostility towards the Abyss. Chapter 83, The Abyss Monster That Knows Disguise. Outside the East Gate, the Monster Forest. The Monster Forest near the Thousand Cold City is basically covered with ice and snow, with large flakes of snow fluttering, and a piece of white. There is still 1,000 meters to the destination. Everyone get ready. Yuan's voice rang in everyone's ears. This execution team, all members are 4th level. Yuan is 4th level too, and the others are 4th level too. This is already a first class execution team, and basically can easily perform any task, and well trained. Brother An, stand by your sister later. Your sister will protect you. Huang Yun behind laughed. Then thank you sister. Huang Yun first. Yuan An took the opportunity to speak, causing Huang Yun to laugh again, very satisfied. Soon, everyone arrived at the destination, in front of a cave. Everyone got off the car, and Yuan and several others immediately opened up the formation, and hid behind several large trees, some far and some near. Yuan followed Huang Yun obediently. He was not a member of the Thousand Cold City Execution Department, and didn't quite understand their tactics. Anyway, he was just here to gain experience. This team was already so strong that he was basically unnecessary. Intelligence shows that there is a group of mutant Abyss Amethyst lions inside. The strength of the Lion King should be between level 10 of the 3rd order and level 1 of the 4th order. Most of the other Abyss Amethyst lions are around level 5 of the 3rd order. Wasp, Black Snake, Purple Bear, the 3 of you work together to force them out of the cave. Yuan quickly gave the order. Yes. The 3 nodded and immediately started to act. Holy water running. Holy thunder swiftness. Holy earth running. A huge column of water, wrapped in violent lightning, rushed into the cave. Then, the earth shook, and a huge crack broke the entrance of the cave, and then it collapsed directly. Boom. A set of small combos directly submerged the entire cave. But soon, the Abyss Amethyst lion inside forcibly broke through the pile of rubble and broke free. There was actually a group of Abyss Amethyst lions inside, including 7 ordinary Abyss Amethyst lions, whose strength was generally between level 3, level 5 and level 3, level 7. Among them, there was only one Lion King that was twice as big as the ordinary Abyss Amethyst lions, and reached level 4, level 1. There are 8 in total, which is not bad. I will deal with the Lion King, and you can handle the others. Yuan directly assigned the tasks. Obviously, they have experienced this situation a lot, and have sufficient experience. Okay. The others nodded, and the battle was triggered directly. Yuan took the lead in attacking the Lion King, and the others attacked other ordinary Abyss Amethyst lions. Yuan is level 4, level 2, strength and fire seal level. The Abyss Amethyst Lion King is level 4, level 1, fire, B level. Although the Lion King has a single system ability, the monsters basically have the strength system by default, because their physical strength, even if it is not the strength system, can be comparable to the strength system of humans. Divine Fire Meteorite. The standard short knife in Yuan's hand quickly drew a circle in front of him, and then turned into a huge fireball, crashing towards the Lion King. Stupid human, you actually sneak attacked us. The Lion King roared angrily, and also condensed a larger fireball, and crashed into each other fiercely. Although Yuan was a 4th order level 2, his fire system was C level, while the Lion King was B level, and the strength of the Abyss monster was originally stronger than that of ordinary monsters. As a result, the two fireballs collided with each other, and in the end, Yuan's fireball was forcibly shattered, while the Lion King's fireball only shrank a circle, but still crashed into Yuan with a deadly threat. Boom. Yuan stepped up and directly shattered the remaining fireballs with a punch, quickly approaching the Lion King. On the blade of the standard short knife in his hand, a blazing flame quickly burned, and every time he slashed, he would be wrapped in the domineering power of the power system. Such a fierce attack forced the Lion King to retreat step by step for a while, and he dared not to confront it head on. On the other side, Yuan An and others had already fought with the remaining 7 ordinary Abyss purple crystal lions. Although it was 4 against 7, they were not at a disadvantage at all. Why was it 4 against 7? Because Yuan An didn't go up. He was just a small level 3, level 2. Facing a group of Abyss monsters above level 3 and level 5. Why would he go up? When he wanted to help at the beginning, Yuan An directly asked him to watch from the side, saying that if there was a chance, he would go up and kick a few times to satisfy his desire. So Yuan An watched the battle here. Although it would be a bit embarrassing, but the current situation really does not require his help. The transaction conditions he agreed with Kyan Hanxi were to complete this task. It didn't say that he had to do it himself. If Yuan and others completed the task, it would be considered completed, right? So Yuan An is now staying here with a clear conscience. The battle was fierce. Although Yuan An and others had been through many battles and had rich combat experience. But the opponent was an Abyss monster after all, and it was still powerful, so he couldn't be careless. Finally, after a fierce battle of 20 minutes, all 7 ordinary Abyss purple crystal lions were killed. Only one Lion King was left fighting with Yuan. Looking at the captain, he doesn't seem to be very good. It feels like the strength of both sides is about the same. It's hard to tell who will win. After Yuan An and others finished the battle, they simply started to watch the battle and guess how long it would take Yuan to finish the battle. But slowly, they found that something seemed wrong. Yuan could indeed suppress the Lion King in the beginning, but the Lion King became more and more courageous, and in the end, Yuan was actually suppressed. Something is wrong, help. The others finally reacted and hurried to help. It was also at this time that the Lion King suddenly opened his mouth and spit out a large piece of purple flame, which turned into a sea of fire and forced everyone back. Don't be careless, this guy's strength is more than level 4, level 1. Yuan said in a deep voice. Ha ha ha. Stupid human, do you really think that you can strangle me by sending a few ants like you? Arrogant. The Abyss Lion King laughed loudly, and the aura on his body suddenly began to rise. Level 4, level 2, level 4, level 3, level 4, level 4, level 4, level 5. He raised 4 levels in one breath. For a moment, everyone was shocked. Level 4, level 5. This is different from the intelligence. How did level 4, level 2 suddenly become level 4, level 5? Exclamation mark. Could it be? It has been hiding its strength, just to wait for us to relax our vigilance, and then deliver it to our door? Yuan An muttered in a lost voice. Stupid human, die. The Lion King stomped on the ground with one foot, and several huge pillars of fire broke out of the ground, directly scattering Yuan and others. Yuan and Yuan An reacted quickly to avoid it, but the remaining 3 were hit hard by the pillars of fire, and flew out directly. Not good, retreat quickly. Yuan gave a decisive order, but it was too late. The Lion King flashed and appeared directly in front of him, slapping his claws fiercely. Bang. Chapter 84. Take a deep breath. It is normal to feel dizzy. Bang. The claws of the beast drew a fierce arc of light in the air and slapped Yuan fiercely. Even though Yuan used his short knife to block the claws of the Lion King in the first time with his strength-based reaction and defense, the powerful force still made him fly out in the first time, and he hit a big tree fiercely. Heh. The Lion King sneered and quickly came to the last Yuan An, opened his bloody mouth directly, and bit down on her head. The pressure at this moment, coupled with the influence of the abyss field, made Yuan An's inner fear infinitely magnified. They have fought against the abyss monsters many times and have a strong resistance to the abyss field. Basically, as long as they are not afraid in their hearts, the abyss field will not affect them. But once they are afraid in their hearts, the abyss field will invade crazily, infinitely magnify the fear in their hearts, and then directly break the psychological defense line. The defeat of other teammates also made Yuan An timid before the battle, and was invaded by the abyss field silently. The purple crystal Lion King was about to bite off her head. At the critical moment, Yuan An flashed behind Yuan An and used the flying thunder god technique to save her. In less than half a second, the purple crystal Lion King successfully bit off the head. Sister Yuan An, are you okay? And, brother? Yuan An reacted belatedly, but her body was already wet with cold sweat. At that moment, she really thought she was going to die. No wonder Kai and Hanxi asked me to carry out the mission together. It turns out that she knows that this nest of abyss monsters is not so simple. Yuan An murmured softly, looking at the purple crystal Lion King. If there was no change in the purple crystal Lion King, Yuan and the others could indeed easily deal with it. But the purple crystal Lion King concealed his strength and deceived all of them. Level 5 of the 4th stage is not something that level 1 of the 4th stage can deal with. This is probably why Kai and Hanxi asked Yuan An to follow. In order to go home, I can only fight with it. With a sigh, he decisively put his hands together and entered the Sage mode. His current Sage mode has reached the 2nd stage, which can be entered instantly, last for half an hour, and increase strength 5-fold. It is much stronger than the 1st stage. After entering the Sage mode, his level has also risen from level 3, level 2 to level 3, level 7. Of course, this is only a change in level, and his real combat power is far more than this. Little human, do you want to die too? The purple crystal Lion King looked at Yuan An, snorted disdainfully, and immediately rushed towards Yuan An head on. In its eyes, Yuan An, a small level 3 psychic, is easier to kill than Yuan An and the others. Yuan An was not in a hurry, raised one hand to book creation star rain. The huge blue magic circle quickly grew larger in circles from his palm, and countless raindrops shot out like ice needles, all hitting the purple crystal Lion King. Dang dang dang. The purple crystals on the purple crystal Lion King's body have amazing defense. The creation star rain hit it, making a sound like metal collision, but it still eroded the crystal layer bit by bit. Feeling the power of the Genesis star rain, the purple crystal Lion King was shocked. It originally looked down on Yuan An, but it didn't expect that his ability could actually damage its defense. Deep fire destroy the world. The crystal layer on the purple crystal Lion King's body lit up with a dazzling light and condensed into a huge fireball in its mouth, crashing with terrifying pressure, and even the ground was roasted and cracked in a second wherever it passed. Pop. Yuan An clapped his hands calmly, would release tree world birth. Countless trees broke out of the ground, instantly poked the fireball into pieces, and ran towards the purple crystal Lion King. Humph, a little wood element. The purple crystal Lion King snorted disdainfully, and his claws danced in front of him with the cold and fierce cold light, tearing all the trees in front of him into sawdust. Then, it found that these trees were actually growing continuously, and the growth rate was much faster than the speed of tearing them apart, and in an instant it turned into a vibrant forest. This guy, the Lion King, realized that something was not right, and he spit out a large flame. Deep fire chaos. The flame surged, quickly annihilating the entire forest, consuming a lot of its energy, before it burned up a whole forest of trees. Yuan An was also surprised. You are the first monster that can burn my entire tree world. Not bad. Don't be so arrogant. No matter how stupid the Lion King is, he will know that Yuan An is definitely not just a 3rd level superpower. His strength is stronger than those executors. On the other side, Yuan An and others were all surprised to see Yuan An fighting the Lion King alone, and even suppressing the Lion King. How can he have such strong power? No wonder the city lord asked him to come with us to the execution department. It turns out that it's not us who protect him, but he who protects us. We can't be careless. This guy. We must kill him as soon as possible. Thinking quickly in his mind, the aura of the Amethyst Lion King surged out, and countless purple lights shot up into the sky, abyssal fire swallowing the sky. A fireball quickly condensed in front of it. This fireball was only the size of a basketball, but the power contained was unprecedentedly huge. The deep purple energy inside it was like a substance, exuding a terrifying aura. It seems that this is your strongest attack. Yuan An murmured, and clasped his hands again, would release Wooden Man technique. Boom. The fireball of the Amethyst Lion King shot out with a bang. But at this moment, a huge palm broke out of the ground and forcibly grasped the purple fireball. Then the whole huge wooden man drilled out from the ground. The purple crystal Lion King was stunned for a moment, and then the wooden man grabbed the fireball and smashed it back fiercely. Boom. The terrifying power exploded, forming an explosion circle with a radius of 1 kilometer. The flames of the explosion shot up into the sky, which was very beautiful. After all, art is explosion. Crack. The hard crystal layer on the purple crystal Lion King's body appeared cracks and shattered. Using the spear of the other to attack the shield of the other, it seems that the attack of the purple crystal Lion King is much stronger than its defense. You damn guy. The purple crystal Lion King was seriously injured, and his eyes were filled with anger as he looked at Yuan An. It never expected that he would be defeated by a human. Don't be so resentful. Humans and monsters are mortal enemies. Today, either we die or you die. Get used to it. Yuan An walked over slowly, drew out the short knife behind him, and under the unwilling eyes of the Lion King, he pierced the Lion King's throat fiercely with one knife. The Lion King's throat made a goo-goo sound. He wanted to speak but couldn't. He struggled but didn't have the strength to struggle. Yuan An consoled him. Take a deep breath. It's normal to feel dizzy. Chapter 85. Great Beast Tide. Ding. Successfully killed the 4th level 5 abyss monster and obtained 4500 experience. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully reaching the 3rd level 3 win. Looking at the Lion King lying on the ground and Yuan An standing in front of the Lion King, everyone was dumbfounded. They never expected that Yuan An, who was supposed to be protected by them, would now protect them? Question mark? This guy. Why would a 3rd level protect a group of 4th level people? Question mark? Huang Yun and others scratched their heads and couldn't figure it out. No wonder Kyan Hanxi let him join the team to perform the mission. It turned out that he knew his strength. Captain Hyun, have we completed the mission now? Yuan An dug out the demon core of this abyss monster at the same time, neatly and cleanly. Yeah, done. Hyun also recovered from his shock and quickly called on others to gather back. After cleaning up the scene, everyone got on the car and returned to the city. Brother An, how are you so powerful? In the car, Huang Yun couldn't help asking. It's not that great actually. Yuan An smiled shyly. In front of outsiders, he is actually a shy boy. You actually hid it for so long. We almost thought we were going to die. Brother An, you saved me. Do you want me to marry you? Huang Yun couldn't help teasing. No need to be so polite. Yuan An shook his head quickly. Huang Yun was a very enthusiastic girl, and he couldn't resist. Boom. Suddenly, a huge rock ball hit from the front. Hyun hurriedly braked and stopped, avoiding being smashed by the rock ball. Boom. Not only one rock ball, but many rock balls fell from the sky one after another, each of which was the same size as the flying car. Is this a tide of monsters? In addition to the rock balls, a large number of monsters surged in from the dense forests on both sides, roaring angrily and rushing towards the vehicle. Not good. Hurry up. Hyun hurriedly stepped on the accelerator to the bottom, and the car sped away. At the same time, Huang Yun grabbed the window frame and jumped onto the roof. The same thing happened to Heish and the others behind him. One person was responsible for driving, and the other two came to the roof. Divine Ice Sanhua. Hyun opened his hands, and 3 huge ice blue magic circles appeared above his head. Huge ice cones shot out from them, colliding with the huge meteorites falling from the sky and breaking them apart. Yuan An also flipped out of the car. The current situation is very unclear. In addition to the rock balls falling from the sky, there are also dense groups of monsters rushing over from all around. I knew that Kyan Hanksy would not let me do this mission so easily. He gritted his teeth and had to help. Would release wood clone technique. He split 4 wooden clones in one breath and jumped directly from the roof of the car to block the beast tides on both sides. Then, the 4 wood clones formed seals at the same time. Would release. Tree world birth. The 4 wood clones performed would release at the same time, turning into a spreading forest sea, and in an instant, they built 2 huge walls, blocking the attack of all monsters, buying enough time for Yuan An and others to leave. Roar. Countless monsters attacked frantically, trying to break through the forest sea and rush in, but they all failed in the end. Yuan and others successfully rushed out of the encirclement of monsters and shook them off. There are so many monsters. Yuan An looked back at the monsters that wanted to chase them and was shocked. The dense beast tide, at least thousands of monsters. This was the first time they encountered such a large-scale beast tide when they were performing a mission outside. It was really abnormal. If it weren't for Yuan An, even if they could escape from the purple crystal Lion King, it would be difficult to escape from the beast tide. Yuan An is still scared now. The road behind was finally safe, and there were no more attacks from monsters. The group successfully returned to Kyan City and found Kyan Creek directly. Kyan Creek had already been waiting for them at the east gate. Are you back? It seems that you have successfully completed the mission. City Lord, we found other situations. As the captain, Yuan stepped forward to report and told the whole process of the mission. Those monster beasts did not seem to be accidental at all. Instead, they seemed to ambush us there specifically. Kyan Creek nodded, thought for a while, and said in a deep voice, the camouflage of the abyss monsters and the ambush of the beast tide seem to be right as I guessed. The abyss is about to start a big move. What big move? Perhaps, a new round of big beast tide is about to come. Kyan Creek whispered. Big beast tide? Yuan and others were all shocked when they heard this word. Big beast tide means that all monsters attack all humans like crazy. The 2 monster beast wars in history both started with big beast tides. Although humans won in the end in those 2 big beast tides, they also paid a very heavy price. The first war of monsters and beasts took place 700 years ago. The first 7th level superpower in human history, the first god king of Shengsha Empire, led humans to fight monsters and beasts, and finally died together with the contemporary king of the abyss and won. The second war of monsters and beasts took place 300 years ago. The 3rd generation god king of Shengsha Empire led a group of top 6th level powerhouses of mankind to fight against the 2nd generation king of the abyss. In the end, at the cost of the death of 3 generations of god kings and half of the top powerhouses of mankind, he killed the 2nd generation king of the abyss and won. The term big beast tide symbolizes countless tragic sacrifices in history. If Kyan Hanksy said this term again, they would be shocked. It's just a possibility, but it's not certain whether it's true. Realizing that his words might be too serious, Kyan Hanksy immediately changed his words. But even if it's not, we should be vigilant about the abnormal activities of monsters and abyss. You go back first. Kyan Hanksy waved his hand and let Yuan and others leave. Yuan An continued to stay here. Of course he had to stay, because he hadn't received his mission reward yet. Lord Kyan, you knew that this mission would involve attacks from powerful abyssal monsters and beast groups, so you asked me to go, right? Aren't you doing very well now? Kyan Hanksy smiled slightly. You are someone who can compete with the Azure Dragon Demon General. If I just ask you to carry out ordinary missions, wouldn't that be a waste of talent? Her words were tantamount to tacit agreement. Stop talking nonsense. I don't want to argue with you about other things. I have completed the mission. Give me the remaining half of the teleportation talisman. Yuan An didn't want to argue with her so much. Of course, you have completed the transaction, so I have no reason to go back on my word. Kyan Hanksy smiled and took out the half of the space teleportation talisman. Chapter 86, Manger Ki Sharingan Katamatsukamee. This is your mission reward. Kyan Hanksy took out the remaining half of the space teleportation talisman. But when Yuan An was about to take it, she held it tightly and refused to let go. Lord Kyan, let go? Are you going to regret it? Yuan An didn't dare to use too much force. for fear of tearing the half of the space teleportation talisman, so he could only stare at Kyan Hanksy. It's not that I regret it, but I just hope you can listen to me. Kyan Hanksy held the space teleportation talisman tightly and spoke calmly. You know now that the abyss is active frequently, monsters are prevalent, and the great beast tide may come again. Do you want to consider staying in Yuan An City to help me? Yuan An, I say, Lord Kyan, you think too highly of me, don't you? Whether it's the abyss or the great beast tide, these are not things that I can change alone. But with you here, we can do a lot of things by working together. Kyan Hanksy still didn't give up. She fell in love with Yuan An. Not only is he handsome, but he is also strong. There are probably not many people stronger than him in the whole Yuan An City. Kyan Hanksy is really reluctant to let go of such a good helper. In a place like this, having an extra strong helper is completely different. I don't want to work hard, I just want to go home. Kyan Hanksy suddenly let go, and Yuan An almost fell. He carefully checked whether the space teleportation talisman was damaged, and then looked up at Kyan Hanksy and said, Lord Kyan, I'm really sorry. I don't have such a great contribution and awareness as you. I just want to go home now. It has been a long time since he was caught in the abyss. His parents still don't know what's going on, and even think that Yuan An is dead. So, he must go back. Sorry. Yuan An didn't stay for too long, and turned away. Although he would be a little embarrassed, no one can stop him from going home now. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing the task. Complete the transaction with Kyan Hanksy, and obtain the space teleportation talisman. Get reward. 50,000 energy points. Another 50,000 energy points have arrived. Yuan An raised his eyebrows, and began to look for something good to exchange this time. There is still one Katamatsu-kami left in the main Juki Sharingan pupil technique, which is sold for 50,000 energy points. Katamatsu-kami can't be rejected. This is the strongest single illusion, which can change the opponent's will without knowing it, and the effect is amazing. Although Katamatsu-kami also has some shortcomings, such as a long cooling time. For a normal person to use it once, the cooling time can be as long as 10 years. If Yuan An spends 50,000 energy points to exchange it once, it will only be exchanged for an illusion that can be used once every 10 years. It seems a bit not worth it. But if it is used well, this opportunity may be a good time to change your fate. After hesitating for a long time, Yuan An finally decided to choose to exchange Katamatsu-kami. Ding. Deduct 50,000 energy points, and get main Gekyo Sharingan Katamatsu-kami. Katamatsu-kami can completely change the opponent's consciousness without the opponent feeling anything. Cooling time. 1 year. Use limit. 5 times. Damn, the cooling time is really long. Although the cooling time is not as long as more than 10 years due to the interference of the system, a year of cooling time is long enough. It can only be used once a year, so I have to use it sparingly. Yuan An murmured softly. The space teleportation talisman has been completely obtained. Yuan An took out 2 halves of the teleportation talisman and put them together. With a slight distortion of space fluctuations, the 2 space teleportation talismans perfectly merged together and became a real space teleportation talisman. Then, without any hesitation, Yuan An immediately input spiritual power into this teleportation talisman. A burst of light lit up, and the slightly distorted space began to wrap him in little by little. The familiar space fluctuations wrapped him in little by little, ready to be teleported away. At this moment, boom. A huge roar suddenly exploded above the thousand-cold capital, and a huge mushroom cloud rose directly from the sky above the thousand-cold capital. A barrier was immediately deployed above Yuan An City, blocking all attacks. However, the entire city could feel the deafening roar and the vibration that seemed to collapse. As the barrier was deployed, the space of the entire Yuan An City was also imprisoned. The space teleportation symbol in Yuan An's hand had already turned into a little bit of space starlight, entwining his body. But as the barrier was deployed, even the space power of the space teleportation symbol was forcibly imprisoned. Damn. Just 1 second. What is going on again? He was almost able to go back. Looking up, he saw huge energy balls falling one after another, landing on the barrier of Yuan An City, and exploding into small mushroom clouds. Although the barrier of Yuan City was deployed passively, it was very solid. Even in the face of such intensive attacks, there was no fluctuation at all. Woo. The harsh warning sound was like a ghost roaring, and it instantly spread throughout the entire Yuan City. At this moment, everyone stopped all their work at the first moment and rushed to the wall of Yuan City. This alarm only means one thing: enemy attack. And everyone living in Yuan City knows that their mission is to fight at any time. Therefore, after the alarm sounded, all the superpowers gathered without waiting for orders. The remaining elderly, children, or ordinary people without superpowers, although not assembled, also watched others gather. The biggest role of these ordinary people without superpowers staying in Yuan City is logistical support. Everyone in Yuan City has their own role. Yuan An really didn't want to get involved in the affairs of Yuan City anymore, but the alarm still attracted him. Yuan Hanxi has gathered everyone together, just under the city gate not far from Yuan An, and they climbed the wall for defense in an orderly manner. Outside the city gate, you can see a large number of monsters rushing in frantically, and various long-range superpower attacks are flying, all hitting the wall of Yuan City. It's a beast tide attack. Activate the first level combat readiness, and fully defend and counterattack. Beast tide attacks are nothing new to the people of Yuan City. Occasionally, there will be beast tide attacks of varying sizes, and this round of beast tides is not the largest beast tide they have ever faced. Everyone fought back in an orderly manner, using various energy cannons on the city walls. The roar of artillery fire was deafening, and smoke rose everywhere. Chapter 87. You will definitely become a strong human being. Beast tide attack. Although he had fought many battles with monsters, this was the first time Yuan An had seen a real beast tide. From his position, he could not see how many monsters there were outside the city wall, but through the dense artillery attacks and the faint roars of monsters, he could roughly infer that there were at least 3,000 monsters outside. He had never encountered monsters of this magnitude. Just as Yuan An was hesitating whether to leave directly or stay to see if he could help, Yuan Hanxi saw him. Yuan Hanxi took the initiative to greet him. You are still here? Have you figured it out and decided to stay here to help? Yuan An, I want to leave, but I can't. Your barrier has also banned the space teleportation talisman. If necessary, he can indeed stay to help Yuan Hanxi, provided that the system issues a task. Logically, in this case, shouldn't the system issue a task and let him stay in Yuan City to fight the beast tide? Why hasn't there been any movement yet? Is the system crashed? There is no need to issue a task at the moment. Cold explanation. Hearing Yuan An's words, Yuan Hanxi's frosty face softened a little, and she explained, the barrier of Yuan City can block the space as well. If you want to activate the space teleportation talisman, you can only wait for us to unlock the barrier. But our barrier may not be unlocked for a while. If you are in a hurry, you can only leave Yuan City by yourself, walk out of the barrier, and then you can use it. Yuan An nodded, was silent for a while, and asked again, then your beast tide this time? Sure enough, he couldn't be so ruthless and ignore Yuan City. Hearing his words, Yuan Hanxi's pretty face like a snow lotus finally showed a touching smile, and her smile was full of charm. I really thought that as a student of Shengjing College, you would be so ruthless. If this is really the case, I will complain to your Dean Fang. She smiled so happily that Yuan An was a little confused. Is there anything funny? Nothing. Don't worry, we have experienced this level of beast tide 8 or 10 times. We are very familiar with it. Nothing will happen. Yuan Hanxi's face suddenly became serious again. But I hope that after you go back, you can realize from today's beast tide that we humans are not safe now. I hope that one day you can grow into a strong man of our human race. She looked at Yuan An with such a serious look, without any joking meaning. Feeling her sincerity, Yuan An nodded heavily. Okay. He inexplicably felt that Yuan Hanxi had high hopes for him. There was a sacred mission on his shoulders, which made him agree. Go out from the west gate, and go forward about 30 miles. There is a resurgence city there. You can go there, and use the space teleportation talisman. Yuan Hanxi said. Okay. This time, Yuan An did not act pretentiously, turned around and walked towards the west gate. Yuan Hanxi returned to the city wall, and continued to fight. Beat these beasts to death. Don't let any of them go. Yes. Yuan An felt comforted when he heard the calm command behind him. Leaving from the west gate, Yuan An walked along the road and headed straight ahead. But he soon discovered another problem. Although Kyan Haxi showed him the way, it was 30 miles from here to Suai City. He didn't have a flying car, and it would take too long to walk on foot. I should have asked her for a flying car just now. He regretted it. But now that everyone is out, they can't go back, can they? Kai. Just as Yuan An was feeling depressed, suddenly a loud cry came. It was a level 4 storm bird at the third stage circling over Yuan An's head. It targeted Yuan An, treating him as its prey, and then swooped down at high speed, moving quickly and decisively. Just in time. Yuan An clapped his hands decisively, would release, great forest technique. 2 minutes later, Yuan An sat on the back of the storm bird and flew forward quickly. With the storm bird as a mount, the speed was much faster than driving a car. He didn't even need to control it himself, just lie on the broad wings and take a nap. A huge city outline appeared in front of him. Suai City. Suai City. We are here. Looking at the city in front, Yuan An was about to order the storm bird to land. But at this moment, several sharp arrows suddenly shot from below, carrying the power of the wind, and instantly pierced through the wings and body of the storm bird. Yuan An frowned, and was forced to fall quickly with the storm bird. He didn't jump down until he was about to hit the ground, and landed safely. It was a pity for the storm bird, which had been pierced through the fatal part by the sharp arrows, and had completely lost its vitality. At the same time, a group of people rushed out from the dense forest nearby. They were all fierce bandits. They were extremely vicious, and didn't look like good people. You can actually control a 3rd level monster beast. It seems that you are also a rich beast tamer. Boy, hand over the valuables obediently, and we can spare your life. The leader of the fierce bandits said. Yuan An glanced at them. There were 7 people, ranging from 3rd level 5 to 3rd level 7. Those who can be bandits are not weak. In other words, I was robbed. Yuan An's face was not panicked at all, and he even wanted to laugh. It was the first time he was robbed. Nonsense, can't you see? I'm warning you, surrender obediently, otherwise don't blame us for being rude. The fierce bandit leader shouted loudly. Yuan An folded his hands in front of him, with a strange smile on his face. Do you know that I'm in a hurry to go home now? If you dare to block my way, what will happen? The bandit leader frowned. Whatever your hurry is, since you are so ignorant, don't blame us for not being gentle with women. Ha ha ha. Several bandits finally lost their temper and started to fight. 5 minutes later, all the bandits were beaten black and blue, and all knelt on the ground. Brother, you are generous, let us go. The bandit leader was beaten the worst, and 2 of his front teeth were knocked out, and his speech was slurred. Hand over all the gold coins, spirit stones, and demon cores on you. Brother, we come out to rob just to support our families, you see. Ha. Yuan An glared at them. They immediately handed over everything obediently. After robbing everything without hesitation, Yuan An left in a chic manner, and walked towards Suai City not far ahead. Only this group of unlucky robbers were left. They were the ones who came out to rob, but ended up being robbed by others. Chapter 88, Departure. Shengsha Empire, Beilang City. Yuan family. I don't care. Old Yuan, if you don't find Zion, I won't live either. Susan was furious, but her face was covered with tears. It has been more than 3 months since Yuan An disappeared. In that mission, the team of Shengjing Academy was wiped out, which caused a sensation. On the one hand, the actions of the Abyss had penetrated so deeply that they had to wonder if something went wrong. On the other hand, the failure of the mission was a huge loss to Shengjing Academy and the Lowe's Empire. In one mission, both sides lost a group of the most elite disciples, which was a big blow. Especially for Shengjing Academy, the sacrifices were basically the most outstanding students among the freshmen, and the most outstanding students among the seniors. This was undoubtedly a heavy blow. Although it is common to have sacrifices in missions, for most people, this is at most a bit of a pity. But for the families of the victims, this is an unacceptable fact. Beilang City was also shocked when he learned the news. Yuan An, Zhao Mei, Bei Xiangkan and others were all the most elite students from their Beilang Academy, but not long after, they all died. As soon as the news came back, Lu Yunshuan and others were shocked. The only good news is that among those who died, Yuan An's body has not been found for the time being. This is a blessing in disguise. At first, Yuan An and Susan were relieved when they heard the news. But over the past 3 months, they have searched the place where the mission took place over and over again, and have not found any trace of Yuan An. This made them wonder if Yuan An was swallowed by the monster directly, so there was no body left. Otherwise, if Yuan An is really not dead, why has there been no news for more than 3 months? Thinking of this, Susan couldn't stand such a blow, and the whole person was about to collapse. Don't panic. Yuan is a lucky person, and he will definitely be fine. Yuan An hugged Susan tightly to comfort him, but even he himself was a little skeptical. There are only 2 situations now. Either Yuan An was eaten, or he was caught in the abyss. Either way, it's not good. But as the backbone of the family, Yuan An must be firm. Shengjing College. In the principal's office. The other 3 colleges of the 4 major colleges of the Shengsha Empire also gathered in Shengjing College today. Old Fang, your Shengjing College's action this time was too careless. So many good students were lost at once. The speaker was the principal of the Basin College in the East Province, Fu Lingshan, a middle-aged man with a big belly. Logically, this action should not have such a result. Is the intelligence wrong? Ningzi, the principal of Linghe College in the West Province, is a young woman with a charming and proud figure. It is common for missions to fail. Don't lose your composure because of this kind of thing. Old Fang, what you should do now is to focus on the college competition in a month. Wanyu, the principal of the Shengsha Empire in the North Province, is a tall and thin man with a majestic and cold face. Yes, this college competition is not simple. It concerns the glory and future of our entire Shengsha Empire. Fu Lingshan also quickly agreed. Fang Weifeng's face was a little gloomy. These 3 people seemed to be here to comfort him. In fact, they were all here to mock him. The college competition in a month is a grand competition organized by the Alliance of Shengsha Empire and held every 3 years. The winner of the college competition can receive generous rewards awarded by the Shengsha Alliance, which is the highest honor. Every college is proud to win the championship of the college competition. On the contrary, if any of the 4 colleges lose, they will have to pay a large sum of money. Although the expenses paid are used to fight against monsters and maintain the Shengsha Alliance. But if they don't have to pay, who would want to pay this money? The strength of the 4 colleges was originally similar, and no one was necessarily stronger than the other. The 4 colleges have taken turns to win the championship. But this year's situation is different. Shengjing College has lost so many top students, and it has basically lost half before the college competition even started. Old Fang, if you ask me, Shengjing College should just give up and not participate this year. It's just a sum of money. With the financial resources of Shengjing College, this money can be easily paid. Fu Lingshan said sarcastically. Fang Weifeng's face changed. Thank you for your concern. Our Shengjing College can lose, but we will never give up. If they give up, where will their college's face be? That's right. It seems that your Shengjing College has a new genius student recently. He hasn't graduated from other colleges yet, but he has awakened his superpowers in advance and has joined your Shengjing College. Ningzi from Linghe College suddenly laughed. I heard about it too. It seems that he is a double S genius superpower. Don't laugh here. Maybe Old Fang will rely on her to complete the counterattack. Wanyu is the most serious among the 4 principals. Of course, he is only serious to others. Everyone is at the same level and doesn't care about his attitude. I know you want to find out, but don't waste your time. You will see me when the college competition comes. Fang Weifeng rarely gets back a bit of face. Hey, are you still arrogant? What's the use of being alone? Don't cry and admit defeat when the time comes. You are the one who will cry and admit defeat. At the same time, in the north of the continent Suai City, this city built behind the 1,000-cold capital has a relatively loose defense. Yuan An walked along easily and entered the city quickly. There shouldn't be a space barrier here, right? Before activating the space teleportation talisman, Yuan An hurriedly confirmed the situation in Suai City. After not feeling the space seal, he took out the space teleportation talisman again and restarted it. As the waves of space power spread, wrapping his whole body bit by bit, Finally, the space teleportation talisman was successfully activated. Yuan An only felt that after the scenery in front of him changed rapidly, he appeared in a silver-white space channel, moving quickly along the flow of space. There are also differences in space teleportation talismans, which vary depending on the distance. Like the space teleportation symbols he used before in Shengjing College, because they were all within the territory of Shengsha Empire, they could be teleported in a few minutes. But teleporting from the far north back to Shengsha Empire, a distance of nearly 3,000 kilometers, is not something that can be teleported in a short time. Even with a space teleportation symbol, it would take at least a day to fly back. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 89, 100 Battles Academy, Park Seo City. This is a city located in the East Province of the Shengsha Empire, and it is also responsible for maintaining the security of the border of the East Province. In the center of Park Seo City, there is a high tower, which is a place for everyone who uses the space teleportation symbol to teleport to Park Seo City. All those who teleport here will come out here. As a burst of silver-white light lit up, a young man walked out of the teleportation tower. It was Yuan An, who was teleported back from Suai City. Finally arrived. After flying in space for a whole day, Yuan An felt that he was completely stupid and confused. Fortunately, he finally arrived. Breathing the fresh air outside, he came back to life. The air in the Shengsha Empire is still more comfortable to breathe. Yuan An stretched his waist, quickly looked around, and then went to find a restaurant to have a meal and rest. Park Seo City is very large, and restaurants are everywhere. Yuan An randomly chose the most luxurious restaurant. He was at least a rich second generation, and although he had been wandering outside for a few months, he still had some money. The restaurant is very luxurious, decorated in a magnificent style, with a kind of luxury that is out of place. "Hello, how can I help you?" The waiter of the restaurant walked over quickly. "One person, eating, private room." Yuan An expressed his needs concisely. "Okay, but we only have one private room left at the moment, and the price may be a bit expensive. Money is not a problem, as long as the service is good." Yuan An looked casual. The waiter smiled even more brightly. "Okay, sir, please follow me." Sure enough, having money is comfortable. Yuan An followed the waiter all the way to the third floor, and came to a private room. He was about to open the door and go in. At this time, a voice came from the other side. "Wait a minute, we want this private room." Yuan An looked back, and saw a young girl walking quickly, followed by several extraordinary people. "Miss Fu." Seeing the girl, the waiter hurriedly greeted. "Well, it seems that your restaurant doesn't have any extra private rooms, right? There is just this one left. Give it to me," the girl said directly. It was not a negotiation, but an order. The waiter was a little embarrassed, but "Miss Fu, this room has been requested by this gentleman." "Why, now I can't even get a private room here." The girl was a little unhappy. She raised her pretty little face, looked up and down at Yuan An, and said casually, "You are a very handsome boy. Please wait for the next room to be vacant." Yuan An also looked at the girl. She was not very old, about 18 or 19 years old, very pretty, with big breasts, thin waist, long legs, and wearing a short skirt, revealing a pair of beautiful legs. She was a real beauty. It's just that her attitude was a little bad. I guess she was the eldest daughter of a family. Yuan An thought about it. According to convention, the next plot should be that he and the girl argued with reason and refused to give in, and then the two sides had a dispute and were ready to fight, and finally he knocked them all down and slapped them in the face, and finally the younger ones came to the older ones. This is a very conventional plot development. But when I think about it, if I want to follow this routine, at least a lot of time will be wasted. And Yuan An is now starving to death, just wanting to eat quickly. "Okay, then please help me find a place to eat." In the end, Yuan An chose to give the room to the girl, too lazy to argue with her. As the saying goes, a strong dragon cannot suppress a local snake. After all, this is Park Seo City, not Beilang City. You can't be too arrogant and have to be a little more modest. Of course, if it was in Bailong City, it wouldn't happen that someone would dare to snatch a room from him. At most, he would snatch someone else's room. Hearing Yuan An's words, the waiter was very grateful and hurriedly led the way. Okay, sir, please come this way. She was afraid that Yuan An would have a dispute with the girl and the others. In the end, no matter what the result was, it would be a very bad influence on their restaurant. But just when Yuan An was about to leave with the waiter, the girl suddenly called him again. Wait a minute. Are you from Shengjing College? Faced with the girl's question, Yuan An was stunned for a moment, then followed the girl's gaze and saw the standard short knife on his back. On the scabbard was the school emblem of Shengjing College, a green dragon. Although it is a high-end restaurant, but since most of them are psychics, and many of them carry weapons with them, this is a very normal phenomenon. So Yuan An did not put away the standard short knife. Of course, it was just a scabbard, and the short knife inside had been cut off when fighting with the Azure Dragon Demon General. What's the matter? Yuan An was a little curious. So you are really from Shengjing College? I thought I was seeing things. After getting Yuan An's recognition, the girl and others gathered around, their faces full of interest. This is Dawn City, the territory of our Basin College. Why are you from Shengjing College here? Have you reported it? After knowing that Yuan An was from Shengjing College, the girl's attitude suddenly became more contemptuous and disdainful. Even the people around her looked down on her. You are from Basin College. Yuan An naturally knew Basin College. It is one of the 4 major colleges in the Shengsha Empire, but it does not seem to have a good relationship with Shengjing College. It is said that the principal of Shengjing College robbed the wife of the principal of Basin College, so the relationship between the 2 colleges is not very good. Of course, it is hard to say whether this is a reason, but it is normal that the relationship between the 2 colleges is not good. I don't remember when our Shengjing College was able to move freely in the territory of the Shengsha Empire and we needed to report to anyone. Moreover, even if we need to report, it is not your turn to report. Yuan An said calmly, a little impatient, because he was hungry and wanted to eat. Hey, kid, you are so arrogant. How dare you talk to us like this in our territory? This time it was not the girl who spoke, but a young man behind the girl who shouted. Everyone knows that your Shengjing College will lose the college competition this year. How dare you be so arrogant? It has nothing to do with you, whether you are arrogant or not. If you have nothing to do, I will leave first. Yuan An ignored them. But when those people saw that Yuan An did not take them seriously, they became even more angry. A young man stepped forward quickly and stretched out his hand to grab Yuan An's shoulder. Stinky boy, do you know? He was about to say a few harsh words, but Yuan An slowly turned around. His eyes were cold and full of pressure, and the young man was scared and dared not speak. This is the look that only those who have truly experienced life and death can have. The young man felt that he was being stared at by the god of death. I want to eat now. No one can stop me. Chapter 90. Go home. I just want to eat now. Don't let anyone stop me. Yuan An's cold eyes made the young man feel like he was being stared at by the god of death for a moment. That look can even make people feel fear in their hearts. You. The young man was frightened and subconsciously took 2 steps back. But soon he realized that something was wrong. Why should he be afraid? Yuan An is only level 3 of the 3rd rank, and their weakest are level 6 of the 3rd rank. Why should they be afraid of a level 3 of the 3rd rank? People from Shengjing Academy are so rude. This is not your Shengjing Academy. Don't be so arrogant. The girl was angry when she saw that Yuan An dared to scare people, and she was ready to teach Yuan An a lesson. The next moment, she saw Yuan An's scarlet Sharingan. Boom. Just a glance, the girl's pupils trembled, and she immediately fell into the illusion, her body trembling slightly. 3 seconds later, suddenly, she couldn't help but let out a charming gasp, and she fell to the ground, her cheeks flushed like blood, her red lips kept opening, her body trembling slightly, as if she had just experienced something, and her chest rose and fell violently. Everyone was dumbfounded, not knowing what had happened. Let's go. Yuan An retracted his gaze and asked the waiter to continue leading the way. The girl was still lying on the ground with an aftertaste. Others didn't know what had happened, and they didn't dare to touch the girl or chase Yuan An to cause trouble. In the restaurant on the second floor, Yuan An was arranged in a quiet corner. "Sir, you just did this to them. You will be in trouble," the waiter kindly reminded while helping to serve the dishes. "Aren't they from Basin College? I'm from Shenzhen College. Is there anything special?" Yuan An tasted the appetizers of this restaurant, and the taste was okay. They are not ordinary students. Miss Fu's full name is Susanoo, and she is the daughter of the dean of Basin College. When the waitress said this, she lowered her voice a lot, fearing that others would hear her calling Susanoo by her full name. Yuan An nodded. "So she is the daughter of the dean of Basin College. No wonder she is so arrogant. But he is not from Basin College. Even if the other party is the president of Basin College, he will not be afraid. So why would he be afraid of his daughter? That's all my dishes. Thank you." "You're welcome, sir. Enjoy your meal." Yuan An's illusion can make Susanoo enjoy it for a while, enough for him to finish his meal. After finishing his meal, he did not stay any longer. He bought a flying car and a map in Park Seo City and drove away by himself. Although there are space teleportation arrays and space teleportation symbols between these cities, these can only be used by major colleges and are not open to the public. Individuals cannot use them. So Yuan An can only drive back by himself. From Park Seo City back to Beilang City, there are also about 1,000 kilometers. It is not far, but not close. At least it is closer than Qianlong City and Shengsha Emperor. But you can use the space teleportation talisman to rush back from Qianlong City, but there is no space teleportation talisman to rush back to Beilang City from here. The difference between the two is obvious. If you drive yourself, it will take at least 10 days or half a month. After all, there are all kinds of monsters attacking on the road, so you can't drive as fast as you want. Yuan An is also prepared for a long journey. On the way, Yuan An directly let the two wooden clones take turns driving, and he himself lay in the back. Of course, there was no shortage of monster attacks along the way, and he killed them all one by one. It was impossible to refuse the monsters that came to his door. In his eyes, this is not just a monster, but also energy points and experience. Ding. Kill a level 4 monster at the 3rd level and gain 340 experience. Ding. Kill a level 5 monster at the 2nd level and gain 250 experience. Ding. Kill a level 4 monster at the 3rd level and gain 340 experience. Ding. Kill a level 7 monster at the 3rd level and gain 370 experience. Ding. Kill a level 4 monster of the 2nd order and gain 240 experience points. Ding. Kill a level 4 monster of the 1st order and gain 140 experience points. Ding. Congratulations to the host for reaching level 4 of the 3rd order. Ding. Congratulations to the host for reaching level 5 of the 3rd order. Ding. Congratulations to the host for reaching level 6 of the 3rd order. In the eyes of others, these monsters along the way may be annoying and threatening. Many merchant convoys need to hire many psychics to escort them when traveling in major cities. Almost no one wants to encounter monsters, and when they encounter monsters, they try to hide as far away as possible. Yuan An should be considered quite special. Not only does he not avoid monsters, sometimes, when he encounters a road section with more monsters, he not only does not take a detour, but will deliberately go around it, just to kill more monsters. These are all treasures. It's just a pity that Yuan An's current level is a bit high, and the experience of ordinary level 3 monsters can hardly make his experience bar grow quickly. Now he has to kill at least 20 to 30 3rd level monsters to level up. So much so that he kind of missed the abyss monsters. The experience of killing abyss monsters is 10 times that of ordinary monsters. If he could kill dozens of abyss monsters, he could take off on the spot. Unfortunately, the number of abyss monsters is too small. Even when he was captured in Longcheng, the King Lang Demon General had more abyss guards under his command, and the number of abyss monsters was not large. The beast tide encountered in Qianlong City was just ordinary monsters, not abyss monsters. Otherwise, if they were all abyss monsters, regardless of whether they were difficult to kill, Yuan An might really stay to help. After all, the rewards for abyss monsters are too good. It's a pity that he doesn't have much chance now. While driving and killing along the way, Yuan An basically exchanged all the monster cores he got for energy points. Ding. 3 first order level 7 demon cores. 4 first order level 8 demon cores, 1 second order level 3 demon core, 1 second order level 5 demon core. Sell demon core attacks to get 48,888 energy points. More than 40,000 energy points, not bad. Yuan An was already very satisfied. Now he no longer had anything urgent to exchange. He just needed to save up 100,000 energy points and then exchange for the Manjuki Sharingan and soar into the sky. As long as he exchanged for the eternal Manjuki Sharingan, he would no longer have to be stingy with his pupil skills, and he could use them however he wanted. Because he had to hunt demon beasts along the way, Yuan An still spent a lot of time, a full month to get back to White Dragon City from Dawn City. It was much slower than the half month he planned. There was nothing he could do about it. He couldn't just watch so many energy points and experience slip away, right? Looking at the familiar city in front of him, Yuan An and Susan must have been worried to death during the months he was gone. Thinking of this, Yuan An felt very guilty, so he continued to speed up and drove towards Beilang City. Chapter 91, The Future of Humanity. Yuan's house. Susan, we have to be strong. If Zion knew you were like this, he would be very sad. Yuan An hugged the tearful Susan tightly, trying to comfort her with his warmth. But Susan was already the saddest. No matter what Yuan An said, she just kept crying. Old Yuan, why do you think our Zion has such a miserable life? He is still so young. Why does he have to leave us? I haven't watched him grow up properly and haven't watched him get married and start a family. Why can't you wait a little longer? Susan couldn't help crying, and Yuan An could only hug her tightly. He wanted to say something comforting, but he couldn't say it. He couldn't even comfort himself, and tears fell silently. Nothing could make him, the head of the executive department, cry. But he is also a father. There are not many people who can make a father cry, and his son is one of them. Dad, Mom, I'm back. Indistinctly, the two seemed to have auditory hallucinations. Old Yuan, did you hear anything? It seems to be Zion's voice. Are we hallucinating? Maybe it's because of excessive sadness. The first reaction of the two was that they felt they were hallucinating. After all, in their cognition, Yuan An had been gone for several months. Suddenly hearing his voice at this time, is it not hallucination or something else? Could it be a ghost in broad daylight? But soon, Yuan An's voice rang again. Dad, Mom, it's quite real. No, this is Zion's voice. Susan suddenly woke up and looked out the door. There was a person standing at the door. It was Yuan An. Old Yuan, am I not hallucinating? I seem to see Zion. What hallucination? I saw it too. The couple was stunned. Until Yuan An walked up to them quickly. Dad, Mom, you are not hallucinating. I'm back. Yuan An walked up quickly and hugged the two. Feeling this real touch and real temperature, Susan and Yuan An finally believed that the Yuan An in front of them was the real Yuan An. Zion, you're not dead. It's okay, I'm in front of you now, aren't I? Yuan An said with a smile. Susan couldn't help it and hugged Yuan An tightly and burst into tears. Yuan An was relatively calm at this time, standing aside and watching quietly, but his face was also full of excitement and tears. Yuan An gently patted Susan's back, comforting her silently, and couldn't help shedding tears. In fact, when he was in the abyss, he was also very scared. What if he really couldn't get out? Afraid of how sad his parents would be if he really died? He was not afraid of dying, but he was afraid that Susan and the others would be heartbroken. When he thought about them being sad, Yuan An was also very sad. The so-called family affection is like this. You may not feel anything at ordinary times, but when you think about being separated forever by yin and yang, infinite sadness will surge in your heart. Family affection is always the lingering hometown in your blood. The mother and son hugged and cried for a long time before they finally stopped slowly. Okay, Mom, don't cry. I'm back safely now, you should be happy. Yuan An comforted gently. Susan finally stopped crying, raised her hand to wipe away the tears from the corners of her eyes, and her haggard face barely showed a smile. Zion is right, this is a very happy thing. Let's not cry anymore. Yuan An also comforted. The family of three stopped crying, and it took a while to calm down their excitement. Zion, where have you been in the past few months? You disappeared? Are you injured? Have you been bullied? Susan raised Yuan An's hand, pinched his face and checked everywhere to see if he was injured. "Don't worry, I'm fine. Nothing happened." Yuan An smiled. "In fact, during the time I was gone, I was caught in the abyss. But fortunately, I was smart and ran out and returned to the Kyanlan city in the extreme north. It was just because the journey was long. It took me a long time to come back." He did not hide it, but he did not say too much. He basically did not say the details, so as not to worry Susan and the others. But the word abyss still surprised Susan and Yuan An. "Although we also guessed that you might have been caught in the abyss, but we didn't expect it to be true." Yuan An was surprised. "Yeah, Zion, it must have been very difficult for you to escape from the abyss." Susan's face was full of heartache. "Not really, I was lucky. I captured a hostage from the abyss as a threat, and then I escaped." Yuan An pretended to be relaxed, not wanting to make Susan too worried. Susan believed him and praised Yuan An for his cleverness. "By the way, where is Zion?" Yuan An suddenly asked. It was almost night now, and Huang Yu should be at home as well. "Oh, Xiaoyu is not at home now. This matter is a bit complicated." Yuan An scratched his head. "After Xiaoyu knew that you died in the mission, she was very sad. She didn't even go to the academy and often stayed in her room alone. We were all very worried about her. We originally wanted to comfort her, but we didn't expect that one day she would suddenly awaken her superpowers. You know, she hasn't reached the age to awaken superpowers yet, but she awakened ahead of time. This has never happened in history." Yuan An took a deep breath, as if he was going to say something earth-shattering. "She awakened not ordinary superpowers, but wind and water, and fused them to produce ice, a total of 3 superpowers. And all superpowers are S-level. In other words, Xiaoyu awakened 3 S-level superpowers." Hearing Yuan An's words, Yuan An was also stunned. Huang Yu awakened 3 superpowers ahead of time, and all superpowers are S-level. This is no longer a genius. 3 system superpowers are extremely rare. There are no more than 10 single system S-level superpowers in the Shengsha Empire. There is only 1 double system S-level. And there is no triple system S-level, not to mention the Shengsha Empire. Even the entire Blue Star has no one. Isn't this too amazing? Question mark? Yuan An really couldn't imagine that Huang Yu's talent would be so amazing. It's not an exaggeration to say that he is the best in the history. "Where is Xiaoyu now?" Yuan An said. After Xiaoyu awakened her superpowers, she quickly changed her depressed will and took the initiative to ask to enter Shengjing College. Because she said she wanted to avenge you and would definitely declare war on the abyss in the future. And Shengjing College will naturally not refuse, so Xiaoyu is now in Shengjing College. Yuan An nodded. 3S level. Not to mention Shengjing College. Even if Huang Yu wanted to join the Shengsha Alliance, it would not be a problem. You have to know that this is a unique child of destiny. It is the future of the human race. Chapter 92. Panic Xiaozuling. This girl has a pretty good talent. For a moment, Yuan An didn't know whether to be happy or sigh. She went to Shengjing College, so I'll go back to see her tomorrow. He didn't expect Huang Yu to have such a good talent, awakening the 3S level supernatural power directly and joining Shengjing College. The movement was probably more sensational than when Yuan An took the assessment. You probably won't be able to see her tomorrow. The college competition has already started these days. Xiaoyu and the others should have left yesterday to participate in the college competition, not in Shengjing College. Yuan An said. College competition? So soon? He was still thinking about returning to Shengjing College earlier, but now it seems that there is no need. According to the plan of your Dean Fang, you guys were heavyweight players in this year's college competition. But I didn't expect such an accident to happen. Except for you, everyone else was sacrificed. So Shengjing College is at a great disadvantage in this year's college competition. And Xiaoyu's awakening gave them hope. In this year's college competition, Xiaoyu is the hope of Shengjing College. Susan said. No matter how much Xiaoyu awakens, she is only one person, and the college competition cannot be decided by one person. Yuan An also has some understanding of the college competition. This is a team competition, and it is not possible for one person to influence the game. The last Abyss mission was carried out, so the top 5 senior students of Shengjing College plus the top 5 freshmen, all sacrificed. Yuan An is back now, but he has no time to participate in the college competition. The loss of 10 seeded players is no longer a question of whether the impact is big or not, but it is impossible for one person to turn the tide. It's okay, just let Xiaoyu go to hone it this time. That's right. Yuan An's return is naturally a good thing. That night, Yuan An and Susan cooked a large table of delicious food to celebrate. There is nothing warmer than a family having a happy meal. The next day, Yuan An decided to go back to Shengjing College. Although the mission failed at the beginning, he was still a student of Shengjing College, and he had to go back. Xiaoyu, this incident is a lesson. No matter what mission the academy asks you to perform in the future, remember to ensure your own safety, understand? Susan gave a parting advice. I know, don't worry, Mom. After this incident, I have become stronger and can take care of myself. Yuan An said. That's good. After parting, Yuan An set off for Shengjing College. As soon as he returned to Shengjing College, many people recognized Yuan An. After all, he was quite famous in Shengjing College. Not to mention that the competition with Lin Shai and Qi in the Trial Tower was famous throughout the school. Later, after the failure of the Abyss mission, the names of those people spread in Shengjing College. Yuan An's sudden appearance caused quite a stir, but most people's first reaction was to wonder if they were dazzled. How could a person who was considered sacrificed by everyone suddenly appear in broad daylight? Are ghosts so arrogant now? Question mark. Or is Yuan An dead, resentful, and came back to the academy for revenge? For a time, many people were wondering what was going on. Yuan An ignored all the speculations, suspicions, fears, confusions, etc. and went straight to his dormitory. His dormitory was still reserved. It might be that he had not arranged for new students to move in yet. After all, the dormitories here were all the dormitories of Xia Zuling's students. And Yuan An remembered that Xia Zuling's student was only himself. Thinking of this, Yuan An felt that he should go to Xia Zuling to report first. Coincidentally, when he came, he saw that there seemed to be noises in Xia Zuling's room, so he should be at home. So he walked over. In the room, Xia Zuling was making a large cup of lemon tea by herself. It was a perfect way to cool down in the hot summer. Sure enough, lemon tea and summer are the best match. After tasting a sip of the lemon tea she made, Xia Zuling showed a satisfied smile on her face. But suddenly, she sighed again. It's just a pity. Now I'm the only one drinking it. If it was before, she could have taken a portion to Yuan An after she made it. Now, I finally have a student. Why is it like this? She sighed softly. Knock, knock, knock. There was a knock on the door. It's so hot in the middle of the day. Who is it? Xia Zulin went to open the door while drinking lemon tea. After opening the door, a beautiful face appeared in front of her along with the bright sunshine. Xia Zuling's eyes widened suddenly, as if she had seen something amazing. She was so scared that she subconsciously took a few steps back. The lemon tea in her mouth choked up, and she accidentally stepped on a scattered stick, and the whole person fell straight back. Teacher, be careful. Yuan An was quick-witted, and stepped forward to hug Xia Zuling, so that she didn't fall. But the lemon tea in Xia Zuling's hand was squeezed, and splashed on the faces of the two. A refreshing and cool. Teacher, although I know you are very excited, you don't have to be so excited, right? Yuan An was a little amused. Even his parents were not so excited when they saw him suddenly appear. Xia Zuling's reaction was too big. Although it is most likely that she was not excited but frightened. Ahem, you. Teacher, it's me. I'm not dead. I'm back. Yuan An said with a smile. Yuan An, is it really you? How did you? Xia Zuling's face was full of disbelief. Yes, I'm not dead. I'm alive and well. Yuan An smiled, helped Xia Zuling stand up, and then let go of her hand. How could you? Xia Zuling was so surprised that she couldn't organize her words for a while, and didn't know what to say. Teacher, your clothes are wet. Yuan An suddenly said. Just now, when Xia Zuling was excited, the super large cup of lemonade in her hand was all spilled, and the clothes in front of her were all wet. In addition, it was summer now, and she was wearing very thin clothes. Now that the clothes were wet, they all stuck tightly to her skin, and even the scenery in the clothes could be seen clearly. Yuan An could clearly see the blue underwear behind Xia Zuling's clothes, as well as the round outline. After hearing his reminder, Xia Zuling looked down and saw that the clothes in front of her were all wet, and there was no doubt about the scenery. Ah! She cried out softly and quickly covered her chest with her hands. You sit down first. I'll go change my clothes. After saying that, she turned around and went back to her room to change clothes with a blushing face. Yuan An shrugged, sat on the sofa, and took 2 tissues to wipe the lemonade splashed on his face. Chapter 93, Emergency Participation. I didn't expect you to be so lucky that you could even come back from the abyss. After listening to Yuan An's brief version of the process, Xia Zuling looked incredulous and opened her mouth slightly in surprise, unable to believe it. She had changed into an ordinary shirt with a kitten pattern, but it only highlighted her proud chest. Yuan An had never noticed that Xia Zuling had such a good figure before. She must have at least a C, right? Although Xia Zuling is a tutor at Shengjing College, she has actually only been a teacher at Shengjing College for 2 years. She is only 25 years old this year and is the youngest tutor at Shengjing College. After all, being a tutor also requires sufficient strength. Yes, this time it was purely luck, otherwise I wouldn't be able to come back. Yuan An said. It's not just luck, there must be a credit to your own strength. Without a certain level of strength, your luck cannot be supported. Xia Zuling is still very sure of Yuan An's strength. After all, he is her first student, and the one with the best grades. Teacher, since I'm back, you can arrange for me to resume my normal study and practice. I heard that the college competition has already started, and I can't catch up if I come back now. Yuan An's words suddenly woke Xia Zuling up. No, the college competition has indeed started, but you still have time. She suddenly thought of something, and quickly grabbed Yuan An's hand, pulling him away quickly, and walked quickly towards the executive department of the college, with a very anxious pace. Teacher, how can we still have time? Yuan An was a little confused. Fang Weifeng and his team set out 2 days ago. According to the normal process of the college competition, today is the official start day, and now it's already noon. Even if they rush over now, they can't make it in time. Come with me first, I'll tell you in detail on the way. Xia Zuling was in a hurry and almost ran. The rush along the way attracted the attention of many people. Isn't that Teacher Xia? Why are you in such a hurry? I don't know. Maybe she has something urgent to do. With Xia Zuling's appearance, the most beautiful young instructor among all the instructors in Shengjing College, no student doesn't like her. So her appearance naturally attracted the attention of others. Who is the person that Teacher Xia is holding? He looks familiar. I don't know. He does look familiar, but I can't remember. Ignoring the surprised eyes of others, Xia Zuling took Yuan An and rushed directly to the teleportation tower belonging to the execution department. Teacher Xia, you are running so fast. The executor in charge of guarding the teleportation tower looked at Xia Zuling and was very surprised. There is no time to explain. Open the teleportation array immediately and send us to Lihuo City. We are going to participate in the college competition. Xia Zuling said. Now, the college competition has officially started today. It's too late to go now. Hurry up. Xia Zuling yelled directly, and the executor immediately shut up and honestly opened the teleportation tower and let the 2 of them go in. Yuan An had seen the teleportation tower before. When he came out of Dawn City, it was also the same high tower. It's just that he had come out of the teleportation tower, but he had never been teleported by the teleportation tower. After the 2 entered a narrow space, as the silver space power lit up around them, they instantly entered a fast-moving space channel. After entering the space channel, Xia Zuling was slightly relieved and explained to Yuan An, the college competition has indeed begun, but it doesn't mean that you can't participate. The college competition process is very long, and there are different competitions. People can be replaced in the middle, so as long as you arrive, you can join. Yuan An, actually, I don't really want to participate. He has already accepted this fact and has no preparation for participating in the college competition. When he came back today, he just said hello to Xia Zuling and planned to resume his normal practice. Who knew that Xia Zuling suddenly pulled him over? He didn't even have time to prepare mentally. How can you not participate? Zia Zuling glared at him. You almost lost all your troops in the last mission, and our college also lost a large number of top students. Originally, there was no pressure, but now we have encountered such a big change, and our college can't even get a student above level 7 of level 3. Then I'm not level 7 of level 3. Yuan An complained in a low voice. He was only level 6 of level 3. Then you are at least our number 1 freshman. If it weren't for the sudden addition of a level 3's genius girl in our college this time, I'm afraid we really wouldn't have a chance in this college competition. But even so, it's difficult for one person to turn the tide. If you don't help, we will definitely lose. After hearing what Zia Zuling said, Yuan An's heart paused slightly. The level 3's genius girl that Zia Zuling mentioned should be Huang Yu. And after listening to her, Yuan An also felt that it was necessary to participate. This time, the entire Shengjing College had to rely on Huang Yu alone to support the college competition, which was also incredible. Thinking of Huang Yu, the little girl, who would have to bear such great pressure so soon, Yuan An was determined to help. Okay, then let's participate. Ding. Triggering task, participate in the college competition, and get the top 3. Task reward, first place, 100,000 energy points, second place, 70,000 energy points, third place, 50,000 energy points. The voice of the system suddenly sounded in his mind, which shocked Yuan An. This task is good, and the requirements are relaxed. As long as you get the top 3, you can get a ranking, which is not bad. However, since the first place can get 100,000 energy points, why should you take the 50,000 energy points for the third place? Yuan An is very greedy. Either you don't want anything, or you want the best. You should also be mentally prepared. The college competition is not the same as the trial tower you participated in our own college. In the college competition, you will face the top students from the other 3 colleges and other small colleges. Their strength is not worse than yours, and some are even better than you. Zia Zuling reminded. Yuan An's level and record are indeed top-notch in Shengjing College. But the other 3 colleges are not to be trifled with. Yuan An nodded. It's okay, I'm mentally prepared. The students of other colleges are strong. How strong can they be? Can they be stronger than a group of abyss monsters? Can they be stronger than the notorious abyss demon general? Question mark. He has been in the abyss and fought face to face with the abyss demon general. Isn't it easy to deal with some innocent young men in the college? Chapter 94. Huang Yu, the independent man. Lihou City. A city located in the center of the Shengsha Empire. It is under the jurisdiction of the Shengsha Alliance. Every college competition in the Shengsha Empire is held here. It can be said that Lihou City was built for the college competition and has the most complete competition venue. This year's college competition also started in Lihou City, and the competition has officially started today. The main competition training ground is a huge circular field, with more than 100 tall stairs from top to bottom, enough to accommodate thousands of people. There are many participants in the college competition. In addition to the 4 major colleges, some lower level colleges are also eligible to participate. After all, this is officially led by the Shengsha Alliance, and all colleges are encouraged to actively participate, so as to form a good competitive environment. This year's college competition, including the 4 major colleges, has a total of 23 colleges participating. On the competition field, each college has its own fixed position with a huge sign. Among them, the 4 major colleges occupy the 4 directions of southeast, northwest and northeast respectively. The other 19 colleges are seated in turn. On average, each college has 30 to 40 tutors and students. There are also dozens of official personnel from the Shengsha Alliance. Apart from that, the remaining thousands of people were all spectators. You have to know that the college competition is held only once every 3 years, so it naturally attracts a lot of attention. Every time, many people come from other places to watch the competition. Shengjing College's seat. Fang Weifeng led the team personally. Today's first round of competition is a team hunting task. Each college sends 10 contestants to enter the exclusive trial field and hunt monsters within the specified time. The more monsters a college kills, the more points it gets, and the higher its ranking. In the air of the main field, 8 huge screens are suspended, showing the real-time situation of the 23 colleges and 23 training grounds on the screen. You can even see how the students inside fight when facing monsters. There is also a real-time updated score ranking list next to it, which lists the score situation of the 23 colleges. First place, Shengsha College, 3190 points. Second place, Beijing College, 3050 points. Third place, Linghai College, 3000 points. Fourth place, Shengjing College, 2080 points. Fifth place, Zhenhai College, 1800 points. Sixth place, Zhenshan College, 1750 points. 23rd place, Wuyu College, 1450 points. At first glance, this ranking seems to be fine. The top 4 places are all taken by the 4 major colleges. But a closer look will reveal something wrong. As one of the 4 major colleges, Shengjing College, although it got the 4th place, the points are nearly 1000 points behind the 3rd place Linghai College. And the gap from the 5th place is only 200 points. In other words, Shengjing College is now in a difficult situation to catch up with the top 3 and can only maintain the pace of the 4th place. But the few behind are not pulled away by Shengjing College by many points. There is even a danger of being overtaken. The current situation is very unfavorable to Shengjing College. Dean Fang, the current situation is not very clear. Director Zhu looked at the points ranking list with a solemn face. According to the previous college competitions, their points should be on par with the top 3, and there will not be such a big gap. But the unexpected incident this year has caused their Shengjing College's competitiveness to plummet. Not to mention competing with the other 3 colleges, it is good enough to ensure that they can get the 4th place and not be caught up by other colleges behind. Fang Weifeng's face was not very good. Sure enough, it's too difficult to rely on Huang Yu alone. On the screen, you can see the situation in the trial field of Shengjing College. The leader is a young girl wearing a tight green dress, holding a short knife, and obviously younger than the others. It is Huang Yu. The main players of Shengjing College in this competition are not very good. Among them, Huang Yu, as a shining new star, although he awakened the 3S level supernatural power in a short period of time, and also reached the 3rd level too, the comprehensive combat power can be comparable to the 3rd level 5 and 6. But this is already the highest combat power of Shengjing College. The remaining 9 people, 2 3rd level 5, 3 3rd level 4, and 4 3rd level 3. This is already the strongest Linoop they can send. The college competition has requirements for participating students, and only students who have been enrolled for 3 years can be sent to the field. Among the students who have been enrolled in Shengjing College for 3 years, the strongest one is Lin Qianqi at the time. But those few people have all sacrificed now, leaving only the current ones, and there is no comparison with the other 3 colleges. But you have to compete even if you can't, and you must never admit defeat. Inside the trial field, Brother Chu, you split into 2 groups and attack from both sides. I will attract the hatred of the beasts head on. You wait for the opportunity to act and try to kill them all with one blow. Huang Yu calmly gave his teammates a battle plan. In front of them was a group of more than 20 level 3 beasts. If they attacked without any plan, it would waste a lot of time. Okay. Chu Xianming nodded and immediately asked the rest of the people to split into 2 groups and get ready. The beasts on the opposite side also discovered them and were rushing over quickly. Huang Yu faced the beasts alone, took a deep breath calmly, and slowly used his palm to guide the spiritual power in his body to flow. Wind rises in prison. The invisible breeze rose out of thin air and turned into 2 huge wind walls to attack from both sides, trapping all the beasts in the middle. Water comes flood. A large amount of water emerged from the ground and submerged the limbs of the beasts. Finally, Huang Yu put his palms together. Ice 1,000 miles. Crack. The cold air spread quickly, and the soaked water instantly turned into cold ice, completely imprisoning the monsters in place and restricting their movements. Brother Chu, Huang Yu shouted quickly, and Chu Xianming immediately understood and activated his superpowers at the same time as the others. A variety of attack superpowers instantly fell into the herd and exploded, as gorgeous as fireworks. Boom. The herd was blown up. Don't be careless. quickly check and make up, and then keep moving forward. Huang Yu calmly issued a combat order to the group. In fact, this is not just a very ordinary combat order, which does not require any special command ability, but everyone chose to listen to Huang Yu's orders. On the one hand, the aura she exuded was convincing, and on the other hand, it was naturally, because Huang Yu was now the strongest combat force in their team and their only hope. So even though Huang Yu was the youngest in the team, no one looked down on her. Many people were even impressed by her decisiveness. Chu Xianming, who was standing by, looked at Huang Yu. She looked so petite, but her actions were so decisive and fast. While people admired her, they also wanted to take good care of her in their arms one day. Chapter 95, Yuan An arrives. Huang Yu and others' cooperation was also seen by everyone. After all, Huang Yu now has many titles, the first 3S level superpower in human history, the first genius girl who awakened superpowers in advance, the only hope of Shengjing College, etc. Whether it is her own talent, or because she shoulders the last hope of Shengjing College, everyone's eyes are bound to fall on her. However, the group of monsters just destroyed only helped them get 435 points, and did not catch up with the pace of the top 3, and even the 5th place was not far away. They were hunting monsters, and the others were also racing against time. Come on, everyone, at least you have to keep the 4th place. Looking at the real-time scoreboard, Huang Yu secretly gritted his teeth, but still encouraged everyone. Good. Everyone rekindled their high morale. Old Fang, this genius girl in your college is really good, but it's a pity that your Shengjing College has already lost this year. At the seat, Fu Lingshan, the dean of the Eastern Basin College, laughed out loud, not hiding the ridicule of Shengjing College in his tone. Fu Lingshan, you don't have to be happy so early. This is only the first round of the competition. There is still a long process to go. Maybe later on, your Basin Academy will be pulled down by us. Facing Fu Lingshan's ridicule, Fang Weifeng had a blank expression. Even if he knew in his heart that the situation was very bad, he couldn't lose his momentum in front of others. It's good to be confident, but I'm afraid that by then you will not only fail to catch up with us, but also be caught up by the people behind you. That would be too embarrassing. Fu Lingshan smiled. Fang Weifeng snorted coldly and ignored him, continuing to observe the situation in the trial field. Seeing that Huang Yu and others had tried their best, but the points could not catch up, Fang Weifeng was anxious and helpless. It turns out that Huang Yu alone can't save the situation. Huang Yu's performance was indeed very eye-catching, but for the whole, one person's eye-catching can't change the overall situation. Fang Weifeng's biggest hope now is to be able to maintain the 4th place and not lose the face of the 4 major academies. Others are not forced. Just as Fang Weifeng was sighing, a person came up to him quickly. Dean Fang. Fang Weifeng looked carefully and found that it was Xia Zuling. Teacher Xia, why are you here? He remembered that Xia Zuling was not among the tutors who were traveling with him. I just came from the academy. In addition, I brought someone with you. As she said that, Xia Zuling moved aside and revealed Yuan An behind her. Yuan An? Even with Fang Weifeng's concentration, he was surprised and widened his eyes. Where did you come back from? He couldn't even make sense for a moment. This is what happened as the narrator. Xia Zuling repeated what Yuan An had said to her. After listening, Fang Weifeng nodded, unable to hide his shock. I see. I didn't expect you to be able to come back from the abyss. You're lucky enough. If it were anyone else, the chance of coming back alive after being caught in the abyss would be close to 0. It's good that you're back. It's good that you're back. Fang Weifeng finally smiled. Although only Yuan An survived, it is better than no one. Xia Zuling said, Dean Fang, I brought Yuan An here because I want him to participate in the college competition. Do you think he is still in time? Director Zhu answered, if he came a day earlier, he would have made it. Now the first round of the competition is almost over, and there is no way to arrange for him to play. The contestants and substitutes are determined in advance and cannot be changed after the start. Even if Yuan An came, he could not play. That may not be the case. Fang Weifeng said, now it is only the first half that cannot be substituted, but it can be substituted in the second half. But the first half accounts for the largest proportion. Even if you change people in the second half, it will not change the overall situation. Director Zhu said. Fang Weifeng waved his hand, signaling him not to speak. I know my own limits. It is better to be able to make substitutions than not. But now there is really no way to make substitutions in the first half. We can only wait and see. If Yuan An came a day earlier, Fang Weifeng would be very happy. After all, Yuan An still has the strength to help them get a good ranking. But now, it's too late for the first half, and they can only watch first. Yuan An also sat down and watched the situation on the screen on the field. Soon, he found the Shengjing College team among the 23 screens. At the same time, he found Huang Yu in the team, watching her as the captain, leading others to fight against the monsters. It's only been 3 months since I last saw her, and Huang Yu's performance has completely exceeded Yuan An's original impression of her. In his impression, Huang Yu is a well-behaved and obedient girl. But now Huang Yu on the field, the fighting power is bursting, the movements are clean and neat, and the supernatural power is powerful. The change is so big that Yuan An can't believe it. Especially the 3S level supernatural powers. Any one of them is obviously much more powerful than others. This girl has become so amazing. Yuan An was quite emotional. The entire college competition process has a total of 2 major competitions. Among them, there are 3 rounds of competitions in the first half. The first round is a team competition. All students from each academy are placed in the same venue to hunt monsters together. The second round is an individual competition. Each person enters the trial field alone to hunt monsters and gain points. The third round is a group competition. 10 people are divided into 5 groups of 2 to hunt monsters and gain points. The first half of the competition mainly tests the students' combat experience with monsters. After all, the main enemy they deal with is monsters, so the first half is the most important. The second half only has 2 rounds of competition. The first round is an individual competition. Each academy sends 10 students to compete in a one-on-one competition. If they lose a game, they will be eliminated. The ranking is determined by which academy has the most victories. The second round is a team competition. Each academy sends 5 students to compete in a team competition. The loser is eliminated, and the winner advances to the next round. The points are finally determined based on the ranking. The theme of the competition in the second half is no longer a battle with monsters, but a contest between academies. It is also the competition that can most directly show the strength of the major academies. Therefore, although the competition in the first half accounts for the most, but the real excitement was in the second half, and many spectators came for the second half. However, for each college, the first half and the second half were equally important. Everyone wanted the final ranking and face. Therefore, no matter in the first half or the second half, each college went all out. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 96, Weeping Huang Yu. The first round of the first half of the competition finally ended, after lasting for 6 hours. The ranking of the scoreboard did not change much. The top 4 are still Shengsha College, Beijing College, Linghai College, and Shengjing College. But there is a gap in the points of these 4 colleges. First place, Shengsha College, 5,000 points. Second place, Beijing College, 4,700 points. Third place, Linghai College, 4,650 points. Fourth place, Shengjing College, 3,500 points. Fifth place, Zhenhai College, 3,450 points. Sixth place, Zhenshan College, 3,440 points. 23rd place, Wuai College, 2,080 points. There is no problem with this ranking, but there is a problem with the specific points. Although Shengjing College's points could not catch up with the top 3, it also kept a certain distance from the 5th place. But at the end, Shengjing College only opened up 50 points from the 5th place, which is basically no difference. Shengjing College may not catch up with the top 3, but if it is caught up by the colleges behind, then it will be a big problem. The fundamental reason is that Huang Yu is alone and can't turn the tide. No matter how strong Huang Yu is, she is just one person and her spiritual power is limited. In the first few hours, she can still force the team's points to rise by herself. But later, her spiritual power can't support her long-term consumption, and the pace slowed down. Once Huang Yu's pace slowed down, the pace of the whole team also slowed down, and no one could take over her fire suppression. In this way, the pace of Shengjing College also slowed down. Once the pace slowed down, the points couldn't keep up. In fact, this result has far exceeded the limit of Huang Yu's team. Zhenhe College and Zhenshan College, which followed closely behind, are not worse than them. All members are above level 4 of the third stage. Even the strongest students of these two colleges have reached level 8 of the third stage, which is better than Huang Yu. If we really compare them one by one, the average level of Shengjing College's Linup this year is actually not as good as Zhenshan College and Zhenhe College. The fact that they are now ahead of them in points is entirely due to Huang Yu's own efforts. But despite this, the points gap is still not much. For others, it has nothing to do with them, that Shengjing College cannot send anyone. They only know that Shengjing College, as one of the 4 major colleges, is likely to fall out of the top 4 for the first time this year. Old Fang, your genius student is really amazing. He was able to maintain the top 4 in the first round by himself. After the first round of competition, Fu Lingshan was still the first to mock Fang Weifeng. The discord between Basin College and Shengjing College is well known. Although they did not fight, there was no shortage of verbal friction. Old Fu, don't laugh at Dean Fang. It is already amazing that Shengjing College can maintain this result this year. Ningzi, the principal of Linghe College, said with a sweet smile. She was wearing a red cheongsam with a high slit, revealing a pair of slender and round black silk legs, which feasted the eyes of many people. Ningzi was the youngest principal, and she became the principal of Linghe College at the age of 29. Although Fang Weifeng's face was not very good for their sarcasm, he did not quarrel with them. It's just the beginning now, and the competition is far from over. The one who laughs last laughs the best. Fang Weifeng's voice was a little cold. Yuan An, who was standing aside, also paid attention to the deans of these colleges through their conversation. Except for Ningzi's pair of black silk legs that could attract people a little, there was nothing special about them. Hahaha, Leo Fang really has a good attitude. Then I hope you can keep it up. Don't let it end up that you can't even maintain the 4th place and lose face for our 4 major colleges. Fu Lingshan laughed and took others to greet the students who completed the first round of trials. Let's go too. Fang Weifeng took others to the exit of the trial field to wait for those who completed the trial to come out. The exit of the trial field is under a tall tower. 23 colleges, 10 people from each college, a total of 230 people came out one after another, and the field suddenly became a little crowded. Each college was waiting on the side, and after their students came out, they found their own seats. Yuan and others were also waiting. Soon, Huang Yu and a few others came out. They quickly found the location of Shengjing College, after scanning the crowd around them, and walked over quickly. Dean Fang. Hey, you worked hard, and performed very well. Fang Weifeng smiled, and patted each student on the shoulder to show encouragement. When it came to Huang Yu, Fang Weifeng also patted her shoulder heavily and said, Huang Yu, you worked hard. Huang Yu's tired little face barely squeezed out a smile. This is what I should do. Although she was tired, she did not complain. Because this is the only most effective way to become stronger in a short period of time. Participating in the college competition, you can get a lot of resources according to the ranking in the end. And Huang Yu's goal is also very clear. She wants to become stronger. Only by becoming strong enough can she conquer the abyss. Only then can she avenge Yuan An. When Huang Yu first learned that Yuan An had died in a mission related to the abyss, she felt as if the sky was about to fall. She was in a daze and didn't know what else she could do. It was not until she awakened her superpowers that she suddenly realized what she could do. Only by conquering the abyss could she avenge Yuan An. So, she resolutely joined Shengjing College, which Yuan An had once joined, in order to become stronger in the shortest possible time. Okay, you've worked hard all day and are tired. Go back and rest. Fang Weifeng said. There is a restaurant in Lihuo City that is specially provided for all colleges to rest. The group returned to the restaurant and prepared to go back to their respective rooms to rest. Walking in the corridor, Huang Yu dragged her tired body and was about to go back to her room. As she walked, she saw a person standing in front of her and subconsciously looked up. It was this one look that made her freeze in place. Xiaoyu, you're back. You've worked hard. Yuan An smiled slightly. Huang Yu still stayed where she was. Her whole expression was stunned, as if she couldn't believe what she saw. What? You can't even recognize me after just a few months of not seeing me? Yuan An joked. Finally, looking at that familiar face and listening to that voice he had missed so much, Huang Yu couldn't help it and threw himself into Yuan An's arms, hugged him tightly, and sobbed softly. Other people who knew about this scene were also relieved. Okay, you're not a child anymore. Why are you crying? Yuan An patted Huang Yu's back gently to comfort him. But the girl in his arms didn't care about anything, just hugged him and couldn't stop crying. Chapter 97. Huang Yu, can you sleep with me tonight? In the room. Huang Yu's room is for one person. She is the only hope of the entire Shengjing College, and naturally the treatment is the best. But now there are two people in the room, and there is also Yuan An. Okay, don't cry. Yuan An gently patted Huang Yu's back and comforted her softly. Huang Yu seemed to be really out of control. He kept hugging Yuan An and crying in his arms. It's only been a few months since we last met. How come you have become a little cribby? I didn't realize you can cry so much before. It seemed that this sentence touched the girl's heart. Yuan An suddenly felt a pain in his chest. He was bitten. This was Huang Yu's way of expressing his dissatisfaction with Yuan An's bad words about her. But this also shows that Huang Yu's emotions are slowly under control. As long as you don't cry, I'll let you bite me twice more. Yuan An joked. Who told you to say I'm a little cribby? The girl finally spoke. Her voice was buzzing and a little hoarse, which made people feel distressed. Okay, I won't say you're a little cribby anymore. Just be obedient. Yuan An gently comforted her with a gentle voice. Huang Yu also slowly stopped crying, but she still buried her face in Yuan An's arms. It was not until more than 10 minutes later, when her emotions slowly calmed down, that the girl slowly raised her face. Those beautiful eyes were now red and swollen, which made people feel distressed. Look at you. Your eyes are swollen from crying, and your face will not look good after crying. Yuan An wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes, with a bit of complaint in his words. It doesn't look good, so what are you afraid of? Huang Yu pouted slightly, a little bit of temper. Okay, I'm back. Shouldn't you be happy? Smile for me. Yuan An pulled the corner of the girl's mouth, but found that not only could she not smile, but she was even a little bit crying. He was so scared that he quickly let go and dared not move, and then continued to comfort her. Okay, it's my fault. Don't cry. Fortunately, Huang Yu was still very considerate, just sniffed, and finally no tears came down. The little face was full of tears. Both of them stopped talking and looked at each other quietly. Yuan An was afraid that, if he said too much, he would make more mistakes and make Huang Yu cry again. Huang Yu, on the other hand, had just finished crying for such a long time and had no energy to speak. He sat there for 10 minutes until Huang Yu had completely controlled her emotions and would not cry anymore. Yuan An then said, "Girl, take a shower after you have rested. You have been tired all day today. Take a shower and rest early." Huang Yu nodded, silently got up, and packed her clothes to go to the bathroom. Just as she reached the bathroom door, she suddenly stopped again, with a bit of pleading in her eyes. "Brother, don't leave." Yuan An was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said, "I'll wait for you here." After getting his answer, Huang Yu went in to take a shower at ease. With the sound of water splashing, Yuan An lay on the bed, looking at the warm yellow ceiling, thinking quickly about the next process in his mind. The college competition had just begun, and there were still 4 rounds of competitions to come. But Fang Weifeng also said that he could only play at the beginning of the second half, that is, the 4th and 5th rounds of the competition. Originally, the college competition was nothing to him, but now the system has given him a task. At least he must get the top 3 to get the reward. But in the current situation, it is already very difficult for Shengjing College. to maintain the 4th place, and it is even more difficult to catch up with the top 3. The main reason is that Yuan An can't play immediately and can only watch anxiously. TSK, if I had known that there would be rewards for participating in the college competition, I should have come a day earlier so that I could catch up with the first half. The situation in the first half was not very clear, which also meant that Shengjing College would have a lot of difficulties in getting the top 3. Oh, annoying. Yuan An scratched his hair so that he would not think too much and closed his eyes and lay down. After a while, the bathroom door opened and Huang Yu came out after taking a shower. The girl was wearing a pure cotton bunny pajamas. The fabric was very thin and she looked very cute. Have you finished washing? Well, brother, you should take a shower too. Your clothes are all wet. Huang Yu reminded softly, and her little face flushed slightly because of embarrassment. Of course she was embarrassed because Yuan An's clothes were all covered with her tears. Oh. Yuan An didn't say anything. He got up and went into the bathroom. 5 minutes later, he came out. Huang Yu was dumbfounded by the speed. Brother, do you take a shower so fast? Did you know this on the first day? Yuan An wiped his hair with a dry towel. According to scientific research, without any interference, the average speed of a boy taking a shower does not exceed 10 minutes. If the conditions are bad, he can finish the shower within 3 minutes. Can you wash it clean so quickly? Huang Yu looked doubtful. 3 minutes, what can be washed clean? Of course it's clean. When it comes to taking a shower, Yuan An does not allow anyone to question him. I finished my shower too. You should rest early. I'm going back. Putting down the towel, Yuan An was about to leave, but Huang Yu pulled him back and looked at him eagerly. Brother, can you stay and talk to me and tell me where you have been during this period of time? Okay. Yuan An sighed. He knew anyone who cares about him would want to know what he has been through. And it seems that if he doesn't tell him, Huang Yu won't let him go. Okay. He sat down on the bed and began to tell the story. The version he told was different for different people. Yuan An was very light-hearted when talking to Susan and Yuan Zhen, mainly emphasizing that the process was safe and they did not encounter any life-threatening situations, so that they would not worry too much. When talking to Xia Zuling, Fang Weifeng and others, he made it a little more thrilling, saying that he escaped in a very embarrassing way, so that they would not assign him such dangerous tasks in the future. As for Huang Yu, the version was a little different. The process was also described as thrilling, but at the same time, Yuan An also described himself as very smart, how he calculated step by step to deal with the enemy and fought bravely, and finally escaped successfully. He highlighted a brave and resourceful, heroic person. After all, in front of girls, you must make yourself look a little more handsome. You can't just describe your embarrassing appearance, right? After Huang Yu finished listening, his face showed admiration. I didn't expect you to be able to run out of such a dangerous abyss. You are really amazing. Of course. Yuan An was a little proud, then touched the girl's hair and said, okay, the story is over. You don't have to worry too much. Go to bed early. You still have an assessment tomorrow. Huang Yu was tired enough today. It was time to rest. But the girl held his hand. Her little face was a little pitiful, and her eyes were full of expectation. Brother, can you sleep with me tonight? Chapter 98. Huang Yu's tenderness. Can you sleep with me tonight? Huang Yu looked at Yuan An with expectation in his eyes. Yuan An was stunned for a moment. This was the first time Huang Yu made such a request. Although Huang Yu called him brother, it was just a name. Huang Yu was picked up, and there was no blood relationship between the two, nor was there a friendly relationship between them growing up together. Even before, she was just Yuan An's personal maid. The relationship between the two was not good enough to sleep together. You are not a child anymore. Why, you still don't dare to sleep alone? Yuan An teased. No. Huang Yu pulled his hand and acted coquettishly, just not letting go. I'm afraid that, if I fall asleep, and then find out that this is a dream, you will disappear tomorrow, when I wake up. What should I do? When she said this, her reaction was very calm and her voice was soft, but Yuan An could see the fear deep in her eyes. This look made Yuan An feel an inexplicable pain in his heart. Okay. His tone softened, and he finally agreed to Huang Yu's request. Great. Hearing that he agreed, the girl's face suddenly showed a bright smile, very happy. Okay, go to bed early, there will be a competition tomorrow. Yuan An lay down and pulled the quilt to cover himself, but his left arm was suddenly hugged tightly. He turned around and saw Huang Yu, who had already hugged his arm tightly. What are you doing? If I hold you like this, I'm not afraid that you will sneak away, the girl said seriously. Yuan An didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Is it that serious? But Huang Yu just held his hand seriously and didn't let go. Yuan An moved a little and wanted to pull his hand back, but was hugged tighter. It was under this pulling that Huang Yu suddenly hugged Yuan An's arm harder, but his little face turned red all of a sudden. Yuan An was stunned for a moment and immediately understood what was going on, and his arm stopped moving. Okay, Xiaoyu, be obedient. How can you sleep if you are hugged so tightly? He had a serious look on his face. This girl, doesn't she know that men and women should not be intimate? How can she not protect herself well? No. Huang Yu was so stubborn that she just held Yuan An's arm tightly. She knew her face was blushing, but she was unwilling to let go, and even held it tighter. I just want to hold your hand like this to sleep, she said softly and coquettishly. Oh, okay. Seeing her insistence, Yuan An had to give up and let her hold him. Anyway, he was not the one who suffered. The night gradually deepened. Yuan An couldn't sleep at first, but slowly fell asleep. The next morning, the bright sunshine shone in. Yuan An opened his eyes. What came into view was a beautiful face, with long eyelashes casting two traces. The girl's breathing was even, like the sleeping beauty in the fairy tale, making people reluctant to wake her up. Yuan An didn't want to wake her up, but just as he was about to pull his hand back, the girl woke up. She opened her hazy eyes and saw that Yuan An was awake too, and smiled sweetly. Good morning. This smile seemed to make even the air sweet. Good morning. Get up, lazy pig. Yuan An smiled and pinched the girl's nose, causing the girl's face to blush slightly, like a ripe apple, sweet and moving. The second round of the first half was in the afternoon, so everyone was very leisurely in the morning and could walk around. After all, Liho City was a city built specifically for the college competition. In addition to the large competition venue and the restaurant that provides rest, there are many other customs that are worth visiting. However, people usually go shopping before the competition starts, or after the competition ends. After the competition started, all the colleges were seriously preparing for the competition, and had no time to go out to see the scenery. Huang Yu originally planned to drag Yuan An to accompany her to walk around, but before they left the house, they were called to a meeting by Fang Weifeng and others. Of course, all the other participating students were called there together. Meeting room. There were more than 30 teachers and students from Shengjing College who came to participate in the college competition this time. All of them were present. Yuan An and Huang Yu were the last to arrive. Seeing that everyone was gathered, Fang Weifeng said, "Let me first summarize the situation of the first round yesterday. When our college's overall strength lags behind, we were able to maintain the 4th place in the first round yesterday, which is already very good. Thank you for your hard work. But you should also know the difficulties our college is facing now. Even if the overall strength lags behind, as long as we fall out of the 4th place, other colleges will only ridicule us and will not care about why we lagged behind. So, we are under a lot of pressure now, and I hope you can withstand the pressure, play to your level, and win glory for our college." Everyone listened silently and nodded heavily with a solemn expression. The second round of individual competition in the afternoon is very important. It is time to test your true personal strength, so you must be prepared to welcome the individual competition in the afternoon. Director Zhu also reminded. Okay, go back and rest, and gather on time at 1 PM. Yes. Huang Yu, Yuan An, you two stay. The two were about to leave when Fang Weifeng suddenly stopped them. After everyone else left, there were only 3 of them left in the conference room, plus Director Zhu. Yuan An, it has been confirmed that you can only play in the 2 rounds of the second half. In the 2 rounds of the second half, even if you play in the first round of the individual competition, you can only decide a small game. What really needs you is the last round of the team competition. Fang Weifeng looked at Yuan An. It was good news that Yuan An came back safely, but it was a pity that he came a day late, so he could not play as a main player. And there are still 2 rounds of competition left in the first half. Who are you? The burden on you is still heavy. You are now the biggest hope of our college, and you must hold on. Fang Weifeng looked at Huang Yu again. The burden now still falls on Huang Yu. The first half has a large proportion. If the gap is pulled apart in the first half, it will be difficult to catch up in the second half. Huang Yu nodded. I will work hard. Dean, are there any rewards for the top 4? Yuan An suddenly thought of this question. Since there is a ranking, there must be rewards, otherwise who will compete? Of course there are rewards. The top 4 students in the competition will have the opportunity to enter the Shengsha Alliance's God's Domain for trials, which will help them quickly improve their strength. In addition, the champion will receive personal instruction from our Shengsha Alliance's God King. The runner-up will receive instruction from the Shengsha Alliance's first commander. The third place winner will receive instruction from the Shengsha Alliance's second commander. In addition, the 5 people with the best individual performance will be able to enter the Shengsha Alliance's library to study. Chapter 99. The situation is bad. Although Yuan An didn't know what the so-called God's Domain was, he had never seen the God King, the first commander, or the second commander of the Shengsha Alliance, nor had he entered the Shengsha Alliance's supernatural library. But since this was a reward, it meant that it must be valuable. So for these rewards, we must keep the top 4. Yuan An understood. Actually, it's not all for the rewards. Fang Weifeng scratched his head. Rewards are secondary. The main thing is that, if we don't get a good ranking, our academy will have to pay a large sum of money to the Shengsha Alliance. Yuan An was stunned. We have to pay money if we lose? This was the first time he heard of such a thing. Aren't the academy competitions all for the ranking rewards? Why do we have to pay money if we don't rank well? Then there are so many colleges that can't beat us. Don't they have to pay money? What's the point of participating in the college competition like this? It's not what you think. This money is only for our 4 major colleges. The college with the worst final ranking among the 4 major colleges will pay a sum of money to the Shengsha Alliance as a subsidy for the next college competition. This can be regarded as a spur to our 4 major colleges. No one else has such a punishment. Fang Weifeng explained. Yuan An, that's even worse. Although the 4th place also has to pay money, if you can't even maintain the 4th place, the punishment will be greater. So, the college is counting on you to help save some money. Fang Weifeng has now given up the idea of competing for the top 3. As long as he can guarantee the 4th place, it's enough. Don't worry, Dean. We will try our best. Huang Yu's eyes are full of determination and confidence. After Yuan An came back, her mood suddenly improved a lot. Although her obsession was not as strong, her fighting spirit was not reduced. The second round of competition was in the afternoon and soon began. This round of competition is an individual competition. Everyone enters different trial fields and hunts as many monsters as possible within a limited time. This kind of trial method has been used by all colleges. Yuan An also experienced this kind of test when he participated in the entrance examination. However, the trial of the college competition is longer, with more monsters and greater difficulty. There is no difference in the method. And this round is also a competition that can truly reflect the strength of each contestant. Yuan An came to the seat and looked at the situation on the screen. 23 colleges, a total of 230 people were trying at the same time, and the pictures on the screen were densely packed. At the same time, there was a special screen showing the real-time ranking. The first row of rankings is the ranking of the colleges. The second row of rankings is the ranking of the individual students. In addition to the college rankings, the college competition will also conduct individual rankings for students. And this second round of competition is the most direct expression of the individual rankings. At the beginning of the competition, everyone's progress was similar, and the points were all rising by 10 or 20. The rankings can also be rotated several times in just a few seconds. As time passed, the gap was slowly opened up. Huang Yu ranked first in the individual ranking, with 300 points ahead by a long way. After all, he is a triple S level supernatural person, and his strength is obvious. The second place is Xia He from Shengsha Academy, with 250 points. The third place is Wang Feng from Shengsha Academy with 240 points. The fourth place is Fuzumi from Baizun Academy with 220 points. The fifth place is Zaolin from Linghai Academy with 200 points. Although Huang Yu is temporarily ahead in the individual points, the college ranking is not very good, and Shengjing Academy is still only ranked 4th. After all, only Huang Yu performed well in Shengjing Academy, and the performance of others was just average, far inferior to Huang Yu. As time went on, things started to go wrong. Dean, the situation doesn't seem to be very clear. Director Zhu leaned in front of Fang Weifeng and whispered, "I can see it with my eyes." Fang Weifeng's face was not very good either. Yuan An certainly knew what they were referring to. Huang Yu had been surpassed in the individual points ranking and fell to 6th place. Although her awakened ability is indeed very strong, she is inexperienced after all, and her actual combat experience is pitifully small. The top students of the other 3 colleges are not vegetarians either. They are experienced, well trained, and their levels are much higher than Huang Yu. But what really makes the situation worse is the college's points ranking list. Shengjing College is currently ranked 5th with 3,000 points. The 4th place is Zenshan College with 3,400 points. The 6th place is Zhenhei College with 2,900 points. Now it has been more than an hour since the start of the competition, and the ranking situation will no longer fluctuate as much as at the beginning. Moreover, Zenshan College did not just surpass Shengjing College, but has been surpassing Shengjing College for more than 10 minutes, and the points gap between the two sides has not been shortened. On the contrary, Zhenhei College, which is ranked 6th, is slowly catching up with Shengjing College in points. This is a very unclear situation. Although Zenshan College does not have top students like Huang Yu, they win in average, and the average level is basically one level lower than Shengjing College. These subtle differences cannot be seen in a short period of time, but they will show up over time. In the last round of the team competition, Huang Yu forced the team to raise the upper limit and was able to widen the gap with Zenshan College. But now in the individual competition, Huang Yu's personal advantage has been infinitely reduced. So far, Shengjing College has been surpassed by Zenshan College. There is also a Zhenhei College chasing behind. The pressure is great. Hey, Liu Fang, it seems that you have no trump card this round, and you can't hold on. Fu Lingshan laughed. Their Baizun College is still in 2nd place. Fang Weifeng snorted coldly, "Don't judge the overall situation based on the temporary situation. Don't you understand this truth?" "Of course I understand the truth. I just want to laugh at you." Fu Lingshan is very honest. TSK. Fang Weifeng didn't bother to pay attention to him. But as time went by, the situation became more and more unclear. The disadvantage of Shengjing College's insufficient individual strength was infinitely magnified, and the gap became larger and larger. At the end of the second round of trials, Shengjing College's ranking had dropped to 7th. Zenshan College and Zhenhei College finally surpassed them. This situation was beyond everyone's expectations. The only thing to be thankful for is that Huang Yu gradually rose in the personal points ranking and ranked 2nd. But the ranking of one person cannot influence the overall ranking of the college. For a while, there were many sides in the competition field. Yuan An looked at this ranking and was also worried. "It's over. How come I'm 7th? How can I get the reward for the top 3? He didn't care how much money the college would have to pay for a bad ranking. But if he couldn't get into the top 3, he wouldn't be able to complete the system's task and wouldn't get the reward. Chapter 100, Shengjing College, the 6th place. Shengjing College, 7th place. This ranking was beyond many people's expectations. Although they knew that Shengjing College's overall strength had declined seriously this year, they did not expect it to decline so seriously. Even the two brother colleges of Zenshan and Zhenhei could surpass them. This naturally attracted a lot of ridicule. Fang Weifeng turned a deaf ear to it. After completing the second round of competition, he took the others back to prepare for the third round of competition tomorrow. Although the results of the second round were not very good, but Fang Weifeng also knew that they had worked hard, so he did not scold them, but just asked them to work hard and keep going. Despite this, Huang Yu and others still blamed themselves and felt that they were not working hard enough. Okay, don't think too much, go back and have a good rest. Fang Weifeng smiled and asked them to go back and not think too much. In the room, Yuan An took a shower in Huang Yu's room, and then planned to go back. Xiao Yu, I'm going back now. You should have a good rest tonight, and continue the competition tomorrow. But the girl grabbed his arm again, looked at him eagerly, and said coquettishly, brother, you can continue to sleep with me tonight. Yuan An was in a dilemma. Sleep with you? Aren't you sure you won't leave? What are you afraid of? Why didn't he find that this girl was so clingy before? It seemed that she became like this after he got into trouble this time. No, the girl shook his arm gently, acting coquettishly, with a soft tone, which made people's hearts soften. It was really hard to refuse. Yuan An finally agreed. Okay, why do I find that you are getting more and more timid as you grow up? Hearing that he agreed, Huang Yu smiled, and a happy smile appeared on his little face. Because I like to be with you. You're lying. Why haven't I heard it before? Then why can't you say it now? It's not credible now. Yuan An lay back on the bed in a serious manner. The quilt was full of the girl's scent, which smelled good and made people feel excited. Xiao Yu, how do you feel about today's individual competition? The girl hid in the quilt obediently and lay beside him. Hearing Yuan An's question, she said, I don't feel anything. It's quite simple for me, but our college is not strong enough now, so there is really nothing we can do. She answered easily. Before Yuan An came back, in the first round, Huang Yu was very desperate, because at that time, her obsession was to get good results in the college competition, so that she could get rewards from the Shengsha Alliance, quickly improve her level and strength, and then go to conquer the abyss, and help Yuan An get revenge. But now that Yuan An is back, all her obsessions have dissipated, and her motivation is gone all of a sudden. As for the ranking of Shengjing College, she is not the most concerned. Indeed, in the current situation, let alone the first place, it would be good to get the fourth place. Yuan An looked at the warm yellow ceiling and said melancholy, brother really wants to help the college get the first place. Huang Yu looked at him and asked softly, yeah, but it's a pity that I have to wait until the second half to play. I don't know if I can turn the situation around in time. At least we have to get third place to have a chance. Forget it, just try your best. It's not up to me to decide whether I can get it now or not. Yuan An closed his eyes and prepared to sleep. Then, he felt his arm touch something soft. Huang Yu hugged his arm in front of him again. Xiao Yu, what are you doing? I want to hold your hand to sleep. The girl's pretty face was slightly red, and her voice was light. I mean, why do you want to hold my hand to sleep? Yuan An found that Huang Yu was getting more and more abnormal recently. If she holds his hand like this, she will suffer a lot. I like to sleep with something in my arms. Then I can't hold you, so I can only hold your hand. Huang Yu blinked her bright eyes. Her pretty face flushed, like a spring breeze, beautiful and delicious. Then you can hold a pillow. Brother, don't you like being held by me? The girl suddenly asked. The light in her eyes dimmed a lot. No, I mean, forget it, you continue to hold it. Yuan An sighed in his heart. Then I decided that I would never sleep with this girl again tomorrow night. The third day was also the third round of competition. The third round of competition was a group match, with 10 people divided into 5 groups of 2. This round of competition tested the cooperation between teammates, similar to the situation when 2 or 3 people form a team to perform a task when going out on a mission. The third round of competition was similar to the second round. Although they were in 2 teams, the average level of Shengjing College was slightly worse than that of Zenshan College and Zhenhe College. After the competition began, the situation was almost the same as the second round. At the beginning, Shengjing College had Huan Yu's efforts and could still maintain the 4th place. But as time went on, Zenshan College and Zhenhe College slowly caught up, and after half of the competition, they successfully surpassed Shengjing College and squeezed Shengjing College to 7th place. And this gap was maintained until the end, and Shengjing College was still pressed to 7th place and could not catch up. This situation was exactly the same as the second round. After the separate competition, the people of Shengjing College could not compare with Zenshan and Zhenhe colleges at all. However, Yuan An's performance in this round was better, and she remained in first place. But even if her score was higher, she couldn't pull up Shengjing College's total score. Old Fang, it seems that you really can't even keep the 4th place this year. Fu Lingshan didn't miss any opportunity to mock Fang Weifeng. Ningzi also smiled and said, this can't be blamed on Old Fang. It's because Zenshan College and Zhenhe College have risen this year. Last year, Linghe College was almost surpassed by them. Fang Weifeng was too embarrassed to refute the two people's ridicule this time, and could only walk away with a gloomy face. At the same time, Shengsha Alliance also announced the comprehensive ranking of the first half of the competition. First place, Shengsha College, 80 points. Second place, Beijing College, 75 points. Third place, Linghe College, 73 points. Fourth place, Zhenhe College, 68 points. Fifth place, Zenshan College, 65 points. Sixth place, Shengjing College, 60 points. The individual points are as follows. First place, Shengjing College, Yuan An, 80 points. Second place, Zia He from Shengsha College, 75 points. Third place, Wanfeng from Shengsha College, 70 points. Fourth place, Fuzumei from Beijing College, 68 points. Fifth place, Zaolin from Linghe College, 65 points. Shengjing College got 4th place in the first round, so it returned to 6th place. But 6th place is also very bad. The first half accounted for 60% of the points of the entire college competition. The second half only accounted for 40%. If Shengjing College wants to return to 4th place in the final ranking, then the minimum requirement for the next 2 games is to get a 2nd place and a 3rd place. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.